Welcome back, everybody, to yet another episode here on the Oshay Duke Jackson channel, the Vlogcast show. Uh, we have a special edition show today. Here at my man LAR Movie. What's going on, LAR?
You know it's love. Let's do it.
All right, so listen, we got well, damn, we got 0 viewers right now. Let me check and see what the hell is going on with this goddamn shit. Why we only got 0 viewers? Well, anyways, for right now, what's very important is there is a Ghanaian YouTuber by the name of Wode Maya. Wode Maya is a person that I am very fond of. They're going to be another response that's going to come in the form of a edited video. He's living in Beijing, China. He operates the Wode Maya YouTube channel. I would really recommend that all of you go and support his channel. It's very entertaining, very funny. He's been living in China for about 5 years. He teaches English there, and also he's a celebrity figure, if you will. Very popular guy there. He's doing some really great things. But he made recently a Black Panther review movie. As you guys know, Black Panther was delayed in China and certain parts of the world, and so he made a Black Panther review for China, and then I guess there were some African Americans that were commenting negatively, and I guess on this particular channel, that has been brewing. So his response that he made, I believe yesterday or the day before yesterday, has been brewing for some time, and so he did address some of the comments that he were getting from African Americans, and the name of the video was called "African Americans Are Not African." The video is probably going to reach, I would say, the way it's going right now, 100,000 views. It's a very controversial video. If you're an African American person, you could take some offense to some of the things being said, even though I feel that his commentary is coming from a warm place. But let me kind of start with you, LAR Movement. You did see the video, right?
Yep.
Okay. Give me your impression of what you thought the video was trying to portray. What up, Abby? Go ahead.
Ooh. It was saying his point of view, and some of the things that he was saying for me made no sense because it sounded like he was talking the things that Black people had told him about how we view Africans. Like, yeah, it sounds silly. That's petty. That's stupid. But if that's what they told him, fine. Some of the things that he felt was talking points on his end, I could poke holes in that stuff.
We're going to poke some holes in it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just, that view is always contradictory to a lot of things, in my opinion. So let's just get into it. I might be a jerk today, y'all.
Yeah, I think it's warranted. Shout out to a nigga with a Buick with a follower super chat. Appreciate you. We might be able to open it up a little bit so people want to come on. We'll try to do that. But let me kind of start off with this. Okay, let's talk about African Americans being African. Okay, because you live in the Houston area. You have a lot of experience with Africans. I live in Poland. I've been to Africa, going back possibly next Friday. Let's talk about this whole beef between African Americans. Now, in your opinion, do you think African Americans, are they African in your opinion? Or what do you say about that?
I think we so far removed, we don't really claim it like that.
Okay.
I think we just call ourselves Black. Like, we don't know. If we call ourselves Africans, we can't say where, so we just going with Black. Do we have ties to Africa? Yeah.
Okay.
Do we know those ties? No.
Let's talk about this real quick, okay? Wode Maya was making some certain claims, like in some of their responses that African Americans don't feel that we're lighter than you are. I'm talking about him because some African Americans, like let's say Young Jay, are he's a little bit lighter than most Ghanaians. because we're lighter than you, we're not, African, or because you have a funny accent, we're not African. So I think, what he was feeling is, well, you're not a part of us because you're lighter or this. But I think here's the thing is what he doesn't understand. If an African American doesn't want to be African, it doesn't mean that the African American doesn't feel that he's not black. There's a difference. If I'm a guy and I say like, hey, no, I'm not African, but you do realize you're black. Now, let's talk about the identification of that statement. Can an African American feel like he is not African but still be black?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think it works the other way also, because you don't hear Africans complaining when they make a distinction. I'm not black, I'm African.
Mm-hmm.
If we do it, it's a problem. I'm like, not so much. They don't want to be viewed as black. We don't want to be viewed as African. What's the big deal? That's a fair exchange.
Here's what I want to say real quick. And I made this point also. When you deal with Africans in America, when they come here and you call like a Nigerian person or a Ghanaian person, oh, are you African American? They're very quick to fucking get you straight. I'm not a Ghanaian. I'm not African American. I'm a Ghanaian American. I'm a Nigerian American. You know what I mean? But when it's my thing is when it's convenient for them, they have no problem being African American. Let's say, for example, when it comes to, let's say Harvard University. Harvard University is trying to, let's say I need a quota for a certain amount of blacks. That same Ghanaian American has no problem taking a spot that should be reserved for your typical African American, or a medical school slot for a typical African American. Like they have no problem trying to, because if you think about it, African Americans have really fought hard in the United States for certain things that they have been kept out of. With what do you call that? Affirmative action,
right?
But these Africans who have not had any real, and I hate to say this, they haven't fought for anything in America. I know that wasn't his point, but they haven't. They will get affirmative action and kick and actually basically knock African Americans out of certain spots due to the fact that they have the same skin tone. So, I mean, have you noticed that a lot of Africans, in America, when it's convenient for them, they can be African American?
Right. And that's part of the problem, because you want to be black to reap the benefits of being black. Mm-hmm. But you want to be African when you actually achieve something, when you were just hiding under being black. Like was that Indian chick who had the brother that decided he wanted to be black on his doctor stuff?
Yeah, I saw that shit. Exactly.
So it's the very same thing. And we don't look at it. We don't look at Africans and say, you know what? When's the last time one of you Africans gave a black person a scholarship in Africa or America to get an education? When's the last time you made room for us to better ourselves in America? Because when the best way I can say it is this: you can say literally that black Americans have made a way for Africans in America and Africans in Africa. Can you say the same the other way?
No, never.
So that means we've actually worked on both sides for their benefit.
Right.
So what's their problem with us then?
Well, I mean, I think it's this real quick. When it comes to the point where, you have some Africans that come to America, now I will be truthful about it. Like I think some Africans would like to feel more welcomed when they come to the United States by African Americans, and maybe they've been teased or called names or stuff like that. And I'm not excusing that, because African Americans, can be, mean, especially when it's like, in particular grade levels and things like this as a younger child. But I got called African booty scratcher. And I'm an African American, never been to Africa until I was 36 years old. you know, and some of those pejorative teasings are something that all black kids get and get. I mean, were you teased when you were little?
Yeah.
That's how we do. So what I think is, okay, you know, a lot of Africans, right? We are more accepting overall of them than they are of us. I'll give you, I'm going to give you, and that goes for Caribbean blacks also, because Caribbean blacks are also in that same category as I would say African blacks, because Caribbean blacks are quick to say that they're not African American. Don't call me that. But if you think about it, let's look at Nation of Islam. I made this point in the stream of the day. Nation of Islam is led by who?
Farrakhan.
Louis Farrakhan. Do you know that Louis Farrakhan parents are Caribbean immigrants?
No.
Louis Farrakhan is not an African American. I mean, if you think about what's this guy, Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey had a huge African American following. Where was Marcus Garvey from?
Bahamas, I believe, right?
I think he's from Jamaica.
Jamaica, okay.
Okay, so
Jamaica, Bahamas, one of
the point is this. Here you have an example, two extreme examples of two guys who have been accepted. They're, if you think about it, they're outsiders. They're not one of us. They have not experienced our particular struggle. I mean, Louis Farrakhan has spoken many times about the black, but he's Caribbean, right? His parents didn't grow up in the same situations that blacks had to experience for the most part. They just didn't. They may have experienced slavery in a different aspect, but it wasn't in America. Marcus Garvey and Louis Farrakhan will go down. If you do the top 20 most loved African-American leaders of all time, you're going to come across those two names.
Yes.
African-Americans have opened up their arms and accepted these guys and held them in high esteem. They could not have the support that they have had without African-American people. But I guess what I'm trying to say is this. Where can you find the opposite? I mean, where can you find Africans that have held a black American in the same esteem with that same leadership as Louis Farrakhan has over blacks, as Marcus Garvey has had? See, this is the thing. You know what I mean? And I mean, you can talk about all jokes all you want, but the thing about it is this, and my experience is that a lot of times, African Americans, when it comes to other people, they are kept out. We are kept out of, let's say, certain things in Africa, right? I mean, like, we're not able to put our influence as we allow people to influence us. Right. We're more accepting. I think African Americans are too accepting. What do you have to say about that? I'm just saying.
Yeah, we've got to the point where we need to scale it back and be selfish.
Right.
Because I can't. The things that go on are ridiculous to me. Just like you got teased as a kid, cool. You got a problem with that, fine. So what you're trying to tell me is you're going to act like this as an adult for the rest of your lifetime because you got teased as a kid? No, that's really how you feel and that's who you are. That's what's going down. Just like they act like, do you remember what was that movie with Wesley Snipes when the dude kept calling him Makata, the cotton picker and all that?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I've heard that term though. I've been called that before.
When people look at us as slaves and cotton pickers who consider us black and African, that disrespect is okay. Mm-hmm. See, and that's the problem. Their disrespect towards us is okay. And the irony of it is, if you really want to look at it, we're in a perspective of the people who can say, y'all sold us into this situation, but now you want me to welcome you with open arms after the fact because it's more money over here.
They're seeing the movie Sugar Hill. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, Sugar Hill. But if on one end you could say that Africans in Africa sold us when we were African to America, and then when they say they look around, do you remember any Africans coming to America when Nat Turner had a revolt?
No.
What about the colonial Marines?
No.
Any Africans come here when Crispus Attucks was the first one to get shot?
No.
When John Horse joined the Mexican army?
No.
The Black Guerrero?
No.
Gaspar Yanga?
No.
Motherfucker showed up at the civil rights when they said you can get some money. So, like, what do you like? Be real all the way. Don't be real because you're sensitive. And it sometimes that bothers me as a person because I think to myself, like, what blood did you shed over here to have an opinion?
Exactly. That's true. That's a good point.
Like, that's a problem.
Let me also talk about this real quick, okay? Because in Wode Maya, somebody says, was he sent a link? Well, Wode Maya is actually, I think, sleep. He's in Beijing, China. So right now it's like, and we'll open up. Actually, what I'm gonna do is do some ghetto calls tonight. I have a Skype number. If you guys want to do this, if you guys want to call into the show, what I'll do is I will have my cell phone and I'll do it the Alpha Male Strategies ways, where I put it on speakerphone. So that way you guys can call in. And somebody says, man, so much hate for Africans here. How is there any hate for Africans? I mean, again, this is a guy. I mean, nobody's saying anything disparaging against Africans. I mean, again, it's just, it's emotionalism. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you listen to what we're saying, there's no hate here at all. You know what I mean? We're going to do the ghetto call in. That's what I want to say. Wode Maya mentions this here. Let me put Mr. Grandeur ghetto call in. Let me do this real quick. And Edward, actually, I might send you a link here pretty soon, so you can just come on. You ain't got to call in. For those people who want to get on, we'll like do a big hangout maybe at some point. But he mentions like, okay, a lot of you black people, like I speak 3 languages. That was one of his things, right? He was responding to some of the things. Oh, Parker. Okay, I see what you're saying. So some of the things that the people were saying, like you saying, you guys don't get out enough, you don't travel enough. And one of the things he says is, I speak multiple languages. You only speak English. Okay, now I kind of felt, now this is true of most African Americans. We don't speak multiple languages. This is very true. But why do you think Wode Maya was making the point that, hey, I speak 3 languages? Many Africans speak more than 1 language. He didn't say that part, but why do you think that he's making that point?
Don't forget the part about, you got to leave your country and get out the ghetto.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that also. He did say that. Okay.
Because in their country, they have to cater to other races for a living.
Mm-hmm.
You speak 3 different languages. You speak yours. Mm-hmm. You speak a European language, mm-hmm. because you got to go through them to get your resources in your own country. And he speaks Chinese because he's living in China. So nobody's accommodating. No, he was taught to accommodate everybody else.
Right.
So to get mad because, okay, I only speak English. Fine. No problem. But I can guarantee you, if I only spoke English in America and it was my country to begin with, mm-hmm. then everybody, I would speak English all day long. Right? Because I don't understand, like, if you're in Africa, you shouldn't be speaking French. You shouldn't be speaking English. You shouldn't be speaking Portuguese. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't be speaking Italian unless you're doing it for business purposes outside of Africa. You're doing it because other people from outside your country run you. That's what's basically going on. It's out of necessity.
I'm saying, and shout out to Edward Anderson. He super chat. Let me do this. Damn. Here's the thing that I want to talk about, because I know many Africans, or like I said, I have right now on the website African Writer of the Year. So don't come in talking about you hate Africans. No, I go to Africa a lot. Okay, when I can get a chance, I'm probably going pretty soon, right? And I'm more comfortable probably in Africa than I would be in Europe, because Negroes is Negroes, right? Edward, check your email. I sent you the link. But here's what I want to say. It's a difference between speaking 3 languages and speaking 3 languages fluently, very well. And here's the difference, right? And I want to talk about this. I know people in Ukraine, like shout out to my boy Damon Geek Cafe. He speaks Polish, he speaks Ukrainian, he speaks English, he speaks Russian. But at some point, can you speak those very well? That's one thing. You know, what is your your potency with these things? The next thing is you speaking those languages well, or speaking 3 different languages. What does that mean for you financially? What now in his case he speaks Chinese, and it's the fact that he speaks Chinese that allows him to do what he's doing in China. Fair enough, because you live there. But I think that what we need to talk about, and Tony, if you want a link to, I'll send you a link. What we need to talk about is also, why is it that you must leave your country to go to another country on average to find another opportunity? Now, African Americans, for the most part, don't really travel because they really don't have to. The United States is a very diverse country. There's really no reason for a black person to, outside of me coming in from medical school, a black person doesn't have to really go African American and go to Brazil and start a business or go. So we don't really have to do that, so much. But Africans, I see them all the time, whether I'm in Ukraine, if I'm in Hungary, you will see Africans all over the European Union, all over Europe, trying to find an opportunity. And what that tells me about the country that you're in is that the people are not providing enough opportunities for you where you live. So if you have to brag about speaking 2 to 3 languages, then I need to ask you, why do you need to speak 2 or 3 languages? Why is it important for you to speak in English? You live in an English colony. Why do you have to go from Ghana or Nigeria to China or to other places on average? And if you think about it, even in China, you have like more Nigerians in China being treated like shit in jails, being locked up. So what is it about your governmental system that allows you to have to go to another foreign land and have to survive?
With the bulk of the world's resources in your own backyard.
Say it again.
With the bulk of the world's resources in your own backyard.
Okay, let's let Edward weigh in. What's up, Edward? Shout out to Edward Anderson.
Yeah, what's up, y'all, man? What's up, LAR? Yeah, I'm the third string, man, coming up to the big leagues, man.
Shit. Welcome, brother. We glad to have you, man. Thank you for all the work you've been doing, man, on the forum, bro. I appreciate you.
No, you much appreciate it. I just hope not to miss my free throws and layups right now. But
come on, go in. I know we know you're gonna go in. Go ahead and go in, dog. You got the floor.
But I would say the only thing I'll say is this, because you know how I can be right now. When it comes to this topic, what I would say to, my African brothers and sisters is this is about business. This is about taking inventory. Like you said before, Black people are the most welcoming. African Americans are the most welcoming of any group in the United States. And that's to our detriment because we let people come into our schools. As far as our HBCUs and what you've talked about, we let people sell in our communities. Hell, I can even argue that every African that has a gas station, that works at a gas station, that's a job that an African American male could have. So we do a lot of things and we don't question it. But at the end of the day, I just get tired of this situation where Africans can have this pseudo jealousy of African Americans because they look at us like, oh, you're in the land where you're the most powerful country in the world and you haven't done anything with it. When in reality, we have not only fought for everything that we have. And when I say fought, I'm talking about fighting wars for these white folks better than a lot of white folks have. That's why they let us start to get stuff. Also, I don't like to talk about equality a lot. I like to talk about equity. Because the reality of the situation is behind every great white man is usually a Black man that they stole the crap from. Mm-hmm. And great invention in the United States of America. I mean, Hidden Figures was about, they couldn't even get to the damn moon without Black women when it comes to mathematics. So this is not, we're just here and we were just coming along for the ride. Most Africans don't even understand that history. So my point is, when we call this stuff out, all we're doing is we're taking inventory and we're taking audits. We're saying, hold on. Y'all don't let us do nothing over there like that unless we paying y'all off like tricking. So Why are y'all saying that we hate Africans when y'all don't tell them white folks that? Y'all don't tell them Chinese that with what you just said with how they get treated. Y'all just complain and be quiet. So anyway, that's all I want to put out, at least for this round.
Here's one thing that I want to say. I want to read a comment, and shout out to my man Super Sly 75. You know, that's one of my favorite YouTubers. He don't hold no punches. I think he's on his way somewhere, brother. Hope he has a safe flight. I would have sent him a link, but he on his way somewhere. But if you want to get on before you get on your flight, man, I want to drain your battery and nothing like that. But let me say this. Watching this dude, Wolf Mindset, he's been in here. Watching this gives me headaches for real. You don't know the history, your own history. When I see people confusing slavery and colonialism, I'm bad. I'm mad. I'm bad. It's crazy. I think he said, I'm mad. You know, I mean, you're bad. And he also says, fake. People travel all around the world and move to find opportunities. Yeah, everything is about opportunities in this life. Whites have understood it. That's why they colonized the world. I don't think this brother's been in Africa. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he has, but assuming that you have not. When a white person goes to Africa, the white person is not going to Africa to look for a job. The white person is going to Africa because he is bringing some sort of system to Africa. He's bringing some sort of NGO. He's bringing some sort of opportunity or some type of skill, some type of human capital to Africa. Okay, here's what I found out when I see Africans in Poland, and again, I'm living out of the country, so I experienced, I think, more African immigrants than anybody here. You know, both in the United States and from outside of the country. When Africans are coming to these places, like Europe or Ukraine or whatever, they're coming to survive. Many Africans are not coming over. They're not bringing their, great resources with them. Typically, just like here in Poland, if they're not studying, they're coming over here, and they're usually at the bottom of the barrel. That's true for Africans almost anywhere in Europe. So let's not act like people are traveling to get opportunities. They're getting opportunities, but are they entrepreneurship opportunities? No. And I even say about the United States. A lot of Africans, I ain't talking about just like Nigerians, but if you look at almost any airport, you'll see a lot of Ethiopians working at airports. A lot of Africans coming to America, they're working at menial jobs.
They don't build shit.
Let's be honest. When Africans are coming to America, outside of the select few, many of them are coming. They're working at janitor jobs. They're not coming to do the same thing that white people are doing in third. When white people go to Liberia, they're not going there to work. White people are bringing jobs. Let's just be honest. And when African Americans are going to Africa, we're bringing jobs. We're not going there to work. We're going there to start business. What were you saying, Edward? He still there?
Oh no, what I was saying is they don't build shit in the United States. I mean, think about it. What a lot of people don't understand about Chinatown, Little Italy, Greek Village, and like these little like sub communities in a lot of cities in the United States is what is usually characterized in those cities are two key things. One is that's usually where the business district is, but another thing is that's where the commercial real estate is owned. So typically, if you go to a Chinatown, the Chinese Americans or whatever, they own the commercial real estate. So you could think about that as like an economic base of operations. So when they get money from China or whatever, and this is before they were getting money from China, they can distill that through their own communities as they see fit. This is why, for instance, even though gentrification is going on in New York, they can't move them Chinese out of Manhattan, even though that's quality real estate, because they own the real estate. Same thing with Silicon Valley. You can point that out to a lot of different groups. What is my point? My point is it's very difficult to find any African, that's regardless of tribe, that's regardless of nationality, where they own the commercial real estate where they are. Now, I will tell you this, the commercial real estate book for dummies is authored by a black man, Peter Harris, an African-American man. So it ain't like black folks don't got a resource that they can go to for that. So my point is they come here to get jobs. They come here to get a good house. They come here to be comfortable. Yeah, they may send some money back to Africa, but really they come here to escape. They don't come here with the mentality is I'm going to learn the skills necessary in order to either go back home or at least find a way to infuse with people here that can go back home and build up the country. They just go to escape because that's what they perceive us to do. And by the way, that dude that said that we don't know the difference between colonialism and slavery, first of all, you're dealing with three very smart black people. So the typical Negroes you talking about, we not those dudes. That's number one. Number two is the difference between slavery and colonialism is our culture was etch-a-sketch and ripped from us, and we were constantly under attack. With colonialism, the main difference between slavery and colonialism above everything else is the culture was never destroyed in any instance that colonialism operated. So we have an excuse by saying we're crazy Negroes in the United States of America because we basically were put in a sunken place and locked in there. And versus what are Africans' excuse? Africans were never culturally destroyed like that. So they shouldn't have the same kind of psychological issues that African Americans have. Yet they do more cooning and buffooning in front of white folks than we tend to do. I've always found that amazing.
Let me just say this real quick before we get to LAR. I'm sorry, LAR. I just want to make this point. You think about it now. Let's see. What would you rather be? I'll give you an option. Would you rather be a African living in Uganda, or I'll say, let's use any of the British protectorates: Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, any of those places. Would you rather be there under the colonialist system, or would you rather be in the United States as a child of an African American? Let's kind of look at this real quick. Those people who are in colonial Africa have been affected by that today. Many of those people who own their own governments, who have their own cultures and their languages, cannot even control their own economy in their own country. Now, at least African Americans really have a hard time doing it in their communities. Now, in African American communities have been integrated, but before integration, African American communities were did very well. Okay. The problem is that even in Africa, with colonialism, look at Uganda. Who runs their economy? Indians, Pakistanians. I can tell you that for the fact right now. In fact, without those people, I would say it would be super inflation. Go to Liberia. Who runs their economy? The Lebanese. Even though Liberia wasn't in colonialism, but go to Nigeria. What you will see, Lebanese, you will see Indians, you will see all of these other groups of people who run their economy when these people have their own culture in check. But the thing about it is the colonialism effect and the slavery effect is still the same outcome. You still have black people not controlling their economy. You still have black people suffering from high levels of the same type of diseases, AIDS or HIV or whatever. You still have black people not running their own shit. And I think colonialism is even worse because now you can't even benefit off of the resources. Look at Nigeria. You produce all of this crude oil, but you can't even, what do you call it when you modify it? What do you call that process? You can't even refine it. Whereas, look at Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia makes all of this oil. They can refine it. And how much do they charge their own citizens for a gallon of gasoline? Almost like 8 or 9 cents. Go to Nigeria, and gasoline is $5 a gallon. I mean, you got to understand that colonialism and slavery for Africans is even worse. I mean, I was just telling Ghana Dan, and I was telling LAR Movement. I know a female who worked 6 hours yesterday, got $11, and thought that was a good pay. Ask any African American to take $40 for 6 hours and see what you get. No, not $40. It was $11 for 6 hours. I'm sorry, LAR, go ahead and weigh in on this. And Ghana Dan, if you want to get in on this, man, you're more than welcome.
It's a problem. I would choose America, I guess, because I'm biased, because I'm from America. Mm-hmm. But for the simple fact that, in my opinion, we've created more in America with less.
Facts.
Why do you say that?
Because the things that we've done in this country, the effects of the things that we've created have gone worldwide. And that's a problem because we were working with nothing as a group. Necessity was the mother of invention for us. So when it comes to Africa, you know, Africa should know how to make all of this jewelry with all the gold and have all the technological advances with all the silver, palladium, you know, cobalt, aluminum. They should be able to be ahead of everybody with the rubber. They should be having a good system of how to refine coffee. You know what I mean? They should know everything about diamonds there is to know. Like, because they got all the land. They should know everything about rice. They should know a lot of shit about farming. They should know everything about chocolate. You know, that's the problem. Like, you got everything at your disposal, and it looks from a worldview is, and why the world takes advantage is because you got everything, but you don't know how to do nothing with it. And people are in your country doing stuff with your stuff, showing you how to do stuff with your stuff, and you still don't know how to do nothing with it.
Let me make this point, right? When we talk about, let's say, blacks right after slavery in the South, when you talk about your Booker T. Washingtons with the Tuskegee universities, okay? Blacks had to really do for self really quick. Now, they did have to, you know, get money and get loans from white people and stuff like that, but they had to open up their own schools. Booker T. Washington, it was up for him to do what? Go out and try to get a George Washington Carver. He had to, you know, George Washington Carver was in Iowa. He's like, look, man, I need you to come, you know, come here and set up your stuff and teach our people. When you look at the African colonizations, the British, Nigerians or Ghanaian people, they never had to educate their own people. The British brought them their educational system. They built the schools for them. What do I mean? What I'm saying is, you know, the whole system, and the reason why I feel like Nigeria ended up being destroyed, or Ghana ended up being, you know, those British people came and put those institutions there. They didn't have to work for those institutions like we had to do for ours. The Morehouses, the Spelmans, the British set up those, like the University of Lagos. In the 60s, the University of Lagos had facilities better than you even had maybe in some medical schools in London. So those people didn't even appreciate that because they didn't work for it. They brought the school systems there. They brought everything there. They brought it to them. Ghana, all of their educational system, the British brought it there and installed it. They didn't do anything for themselves when it comes to first tier educational systems. But let's compare it to what blacks had to do. Look at Tuskegee's, look at the Morehouses. You know, the Philander D. Smiths. That's something that white people have said, look, nigga, do something for yourself. Go have the school out there in the church. That's why when black economy started doing well, who do you think African Americans, who do you think Kwame Nkrumah was looking up to? Kwame Nkrumah, everybody, Marcus Garvey, they were studying black people. Like, how are they doing this for themselves? And when the British pulled out, they couldn't keep it up because the British brought everything to them. They never worked for none of that shit they have. I mean, we got to just, you know, call it what it is. You know, black people, African Americans were far more advanced. And I'm not trying to, you know, say Marcus Garvey also. We had to develop very much, you know, very fast than this. When the British brought you guys everything and you still couldn't get ahead, the French, I mean, even today, Nigeria is still operating on a British type of educational system. The French is still operating. They brought those things there. You know, nobody gave us anything. What? In some cases, let's look at when the British left Nigeria, or when white people left Rhodesia. When the British left Nigeria, or when they left Ghana, man, it was a point that their currencies were even worth more than the U.S. dollars. That's a fact for Zimbabwe. That's definitely a fact for Nigeria. The Nigerian currency was worth more than the U.S. dollar when the white folks left. And he gave it to them and said, here you go. And they still fucked it up. So what are you talking about? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Who's next? I'm sorry.
I guess me.
Go ahead.
You want to know the difference between slavery and colonialism?
Mhm.
It's you getting killed, you building schools for these people, and they didn't build it themselves. Versus if your black ass get caught with a book, your black ass is gonna get your head cut off or put on a tree.
Say it
That's
again.
what the difference is. That's what I mean when I say that. The difference that a lot of people don't really understand, like colonialism was a passive aggressive act. Things like drawing, carving up the continent's national lines based on resources and designing it to create internal strife. That's really Nigeria, right? They carved up the lines in order to put certain tribes with others to create that internal strife so they wouldn't come together and fight, a common enemy. They do the same thing in the Middle East, to be honest with you. That's why you got countries like Iraq and stuff like that with Sunnis and Shias. So it's the same playbook, same thing they did in South Africa. With they separated them more by like colors, as far as the colors and the Africans and whatever. But here in the United States, well, in the Western Hemisphere, but in the United, because I'm not gonna act like they didn't do that in Latin America as far as being offensive down there as far as slavery. But as far as slavery in the United States, they were the most offensive with having to keep us from the resources because we were close to the resources and we were doing exactly what you said. You got to remember, African Americans were a very, very, very skilled labor force because of the skills that we learned in slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Once they moved slavery, we became a threat. Now, we got to be honest about why slavery was removed. Slavery was not removed because the benevolent North decided it was wrong. Some of them folks thought that, but for the most part, it was because black people were considered like robots. We're a labor force that are skilled that you don't have to pay. And the economy just could not move forward that way. So once we started going up north, that's when these white folks are, hey, we want y'all to be free, but we didn't want y'all competing with us. That's why your early unions were more associated with, white tribalism and white to protect contracts for white men. I mean, racism is always rooted in economics. So the point is, we could outcompete on average a lot of white folks when it comes to skills and labor. We also, when we were illiterate, we in record time, it's nothing Marcus Garvey and them study. We in record time taught ourselves, not white people, ourselves how to read. And we got to like what, a 70% literacy rate from having like a 10 in like 30 years, which for our population was insane. So they had to come back and activate things like Jim Crow and then destroy our communities because most Africans don't know about I live in North Carolina. They don't know about Wilmington, North Carolina. They don't know about Durham, North Carolina. They don't know about Tulsa, Rosewood, even Richmond, Virginia. They think it was just one place. We had Black Wall Streets activated everywhere, and whites had to actually come in here and destroy them. They did not fall apart themselves. Versus really all white people really had to do was extract the resources out of Africa, put some things called the IMF in there to kind of give them an excuse not to say F that and build on their own, and then watch them basically not do anything. This is why I always come back to Africans are jealous of African Americans. It's the same thing when you see, like, I hate to say it this way, but I'm gonna say it. Same feeling that like when black women see a black man that they think they're better than with like a white woman, that they get insecure and they get viciously angry. You just did a video on that with Stephen Clark. They get viciously angry. This is how Africans act to us because they think we have all this culture. We are who we are. Man, the worst thing I ever said to an African is she was coming at me about culture so hard, and she was from the UK. And I looked right at her and I told her right in her face, because this was a friend of a friend, and she was getting on my nerves. I said, your culture goes as far as this nearest white man is willing to have you. So the next time, so please don't, because I see very clearly how quickly you all are willing to throw away your culture for some resources. Black people, the culture of this United States is from African Americans in music, and that includes rock and roll too. We just let them have stuff here. So despite them trying to destroy us, we still found culture and the very ingredients of this country is it. Versus them, they looking to run away from that. Just so, I mean, Black Panther was made by an African-American man. I mean, anyway. Keep that real.
Go ahead, LR.
Few points about that. because the video was about Black Panther. First, the irony of it is when our depiction of Africans as Black Americans is a whole lot better than their depiction of us as Black in their countries. You know, so Black Panther is set in Africa. We make Africans look like they're regal. You know, it goes all the way back, you know, even before the movie came out and people didn't know what Wakanda was looking like. People was doing the Zamunda thing at the movie things.
Right.
They don't do that with us, for one. The culture thing for two is, why do we need to know your culture? So we had to create our own culture, and then now we have to know your culture when you come here. But you don't like our culture, so you say. And if yours is so much better, why did you give it up to come here? You know, and I guess it's bothersome to me to think that at the end of the day, if we, because sometimes it makes us look like we're beneath Africans for being Black in America and the stuff we've been through.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're so bad and we're so stupid and we are so broken as a people and we are so uncultured, why you keep coming here? Like, why? Like, what do you, because you saying you coming here for the opportunity, but you have culture where you at, you have resources where you at, you have 500, 600, 1,000 years worth of history where you at. You should have things together where you at. You know, I remember King Richards talking about this in a video when he said, you know, we look at you Americans as our big brother. And I told him, you know, that's a bad idea. Because in essence, if you get it to the rawest form, you sold your big brother down the river, let him get beat to a pulp. And when he started to stand up like a man, you said, won't you come here and give me a hug because I need some help now? No.
Well, let me see this. Ours, Africans don't come to the U.S. for you. They don't even associate with you. Well, that's a kind of a good point, I think.
Yeah, you're right. You don't come for us. You come imitating us so you can get ahead. You're right. Like I said this before in a long video. Did y'all come here when slavery stopped? Did Africans come here? No. When Reconstruction was going on, did Africans come here really? No. During Jim Crow, did Africans really come here? No. When they got after civil rights and when they saw, you know, African Americans or Black people in America start winning without getting killed, that's when they came here. And you can't deny that. I mean, unfortunately, part of the way we came up inspired y'all to get out of apartheid.
Let me weigh in on this particular thing. Now, here's what I will say. Okay, when he was saying this, Blacks, and I'm gonna come to his defense. I want to kind of be fair and balanced to Wode Maya's response. A lot of Blacks were saying, "Well, you sold us into slavery." We got to look at it like this, and just as what happens in Blacks today, like when we look at Ghana or when we look at Nigeria, those are countries that you know, that was drawn up sometime in Germany. And then, you know, Europeans decided to take part of Africa, which is Portugal or France or Britain. Those Blacks who sold other Blacks in slavery to white people in exchange for certain goods, they did not look at them as Blacks. I don't think that concept came into being until whites started dominating us. Then we started to kind of maybe look at ourselves as a unifying race. As Black or as white or as whatever. So those Blacks, when they were selling other people in the slavery, they were competing for the same resources. Those people probably spoke, you know, different languages, or those people probably had. And so to be fair, you know, those Blacks were looking at one another as enemies. The way that we look at it is, why would you sell your own brother into slavery? That is because as African Americans, we understand racism. We understand that, but at that particular time, this was not probably a concept or an idea. So, you know, so the way we look at it probably right now was probably not how they looked at it then. Now, here's the thing: there were certain African kings, once they saw what was happening, they stopped it. But this is what I also want to say. Just really briefly. You know, in the case of Black Americans, he was talking about, you know, you guys don't know your culture. You're still Black. Okay. And this is what I got to say. You know, you need to know your African culture. My question is to him or any other African, when you say that Blacks don't know their culture, where in Africa are you talking about? You know, you're from Africa, know your culture. There's 54 countries in Africa. There's many different tribes, many different dialects. All Black people are not the same. There are many Black people, many different things. And African Americans cannot identify where do we come from. I mean, you know, you have slaves came from Ghana. They came from the Bight of Biafra. They came from some parts as far as the Congo. They came from Senegal. You know, so where are these Blacks are, as you would say, Israelites? Somebody says, I'm not African, I'm Israel. Okay, whatever you are, whatever you want to be, okay. Where do these people go back and find where they are from? Are you gonna depend on some DNA test? And I think those things are scams, because I can guarantee you that if we took DNA tests as ancestral DNA, those DNA things are gonna say different things. I can go to niggadna.com. It's going to say one thing. I can go to eddieanderson.com. It's going to say another thing. You know, we will never really be able to know where we are from. And so the thing about it is, because the African American or Black American, shout out to Ima Z and my man Super Sly said, what's the African American? Okay, well, the Blacks that are from the ancestries are from slavery. We have no choice but to know that we are. I think what Black Americans want to say is we are a distinct group. We want to be respected as a distinct group, you know, because the thing is, Africans can say, I'm Ghanaian American, I'm Nigerian. Shit, I wish we could say that, but we can't, because we don't have no ancestral home. You know, for us, I know I'm going over a little bit aboard, Eddie. I'm sorry. But for African and Black Americans, when I go to Uganda, I notice one thing. We are homeless as Black people. We don't have nowhere to go. If we want to go back to Uganda or Ghana or wherever we want to go to, when we open our mouth, they know you're not from here. And you know how they treat you? They might be nice to you or be cool with you, but you're going to look at you as an outsider, because you are an outsider. We don't have a home. You know, we don't have an ancestor. We don't have a home, you know? And so the thing is, Ghanaians want to be treated with their certain thing, and Nigerian will even tell you, hey, I'm not even Nigerian. I'm from Biafra. I'm a Yoruba. I'm Hausa. You know? And I think that African Americans or Black Americans or whatever, Israelites, we want our own distinction in the diaspora, because that's what we know. You know, I think what Africans have a problem is that we want to be a distinct group. We still admire the fact that we're Black, but hey, this is our group, you know? And I think a lot of them have a problem with that. We're not denying Africa, but we are saying that we have history and a connection that's outside of Africa. I'm sorry, go ahead, Eddie. Edward.
I mean, I absolutely understand. I absolutely agree with that. As far as like being a distinct group, I am, when it comes to African American first, I am very African American first. I mean, at the end of the day, like I always say, this is not about hating. Like I keep seeing people in the comment talk about LAR hates Africans and all of that. I swear, man, we do what we're doing right now. We're it's called putting all the cards on the table so we can sort this stuff out. That's what it's called. And I know generally Africans have this thing about you don't air out your dirty laundry out in public. So they just, for me to be understanding, they can be kind of turned off by hearing this openly. But this is the only way you get stuff sorted out. Okay, so this thing about people hate African just because you don't like what's saying, I mean, come on, man, we're all adults here. As far as the distinct group thing, I mean, even in Jamaica, even in different, I mean, Afro Latina, I mean, all these groups are distinct. You got people like a Marilyn Negra, where she fights hard. Talking about, I'm Afro Latina, I speak Spanish. This is a distinct group. And again, African Americans, because we're always the one that's charged with, we want you to drop your culture. Like, it was one dude Dynas was interviewing, and he was talking about like Pan-Africanists are willing to kill in order to take my culture from me. And I'm like, black people don't care about your culture. You want to do all of that, you can do that. We just want you to know that these white folks are gonna mess with you just like they messing with us. Shout out to Muhammad Noor, where he's finding that out real quick, and we need to pull together when necessary, not be dependent, but interdependent. No, I want my old culture. You ain't got nothing to offer me, because that's really what it comes down to. So what is my main point? My main point is this: power respects power. And you cannot demand, you can't ask for respect. You have to demand it. And one of the things that African Americans have to do is, number one, we have to be, regardless of the differences we make, we have to understand we are African American first. That's why I even support you so hard, Oshay, because you do say you're black first. You don't have to say it all the time, but you say it so I know for inventory, okay, I know what this guy is. We have to be African American first, and then we have to say, okay, how do we enforce our will as African Americans? Now, what these Africans are scared of, I'm gonna be honest, is they're scared of we're gonna do what we did in Liberia. Because when you said we don't have a home, technically that's what Liberia was for. Right. And 5% of African Americans, and keep in mind, this was a different version of African American. This is more like the mulatto version of African Americans. That's another thing that's often distinguished when we talk about that conversation, is we're a completely different version of African Americans than, I mean, that's before Pan-African, that's for a lot of stuff. So my point is this: technically Liberia is our home. Technically. Now, we could be stupid and be like, or because, America just put a base in Ghana. Now, imagine if we were able to influence America to put a base in Liberia, and then we were able to be the forward operating base to basically retake over Liberia. Because here's the thing, I always make an argument to whites when it comes to racism. You don't have to like me, but these Chinese are taking over the breadbasket of the world, and African Americans will be the best people to counter that narrative.
Yes.
Because with a black face. So I always argue it's in your best interest to eliminate, not so much completely eliminate racism, but to stop being on our ass as much as you are, because we're going to be the best ones to give you bang for the buck. There's historical reference to this, because in the Cold War, back when Martin Luther King and Malcolm X was making headway, making the United States look bad, and USSR was using that as propaganda to make America look bad to other countries, to not deal with us as much as they otherwise would. They used jazz as a way to promote American ideals. So what happened was, and since people want to talk about we don't know our culture, what happened was, even though they were messing with us in the United States, and certain jazz musicians couldn't play in certain places because of Jim Crow and segregation, which wasn't cool, on the back end from a foreign policy side, it was like, we're going to let you all go overseas and promote jazz as American ideals. See, they don't want us to start working with whites that way as a strategic group and then start doing that. And they know we can. And that's where that's where I'm telling you, a lot of this stuff is rooted in jealousy, because they have their culture. But it's kind of like when a lot of black men in America talk about alpha and beta stuff all the time. What you find out is they have no measurable sense of power, wealth, and influence. Start to find out they don't have a lot of money. They don't have a lot of wealth. And ain't nobody really listening to them unless they turn on YouTube and they're shoved in their face. So they talk about this subjective alpha and beta bullshit in order to make themselves feel like a man. That's what Africans do with their culture. I know I said that.
Can I address?
Go ahead, LAR.
For the people, because I don't look at the chat. Most people don't know that, but I don't look at the chat when I'm on these things, because
we got 261 people watching. If guys, if Tony wants to come on, if Super Sly wants to come on, you guys are more than welcome. Just let me know. Go ahead, weigh in, LAR.
Yeah, so I didn't know people were saying that, but here's the thing: I don't have a problem with Africans.
Right.
But what I do have a problem with is this idea that when black men speak on their reality, people get butthurt. Mm-hmm. See, everybody else can talk about their reality and their experience with us, but get offended when we talk about our experience with them. Doesn't matter what group that is. So if something I said offended somebody, did I lie? Is my question. Were the things that I said a lie, or were you just upset that a black man was saying the things that I said? Because a lot of you people don't have an issue with saying things about us that are no problem. Y'all have no issue about speaking ill of us, no problems at no time. Y'all have no issue about portraying us as negative stereotypes at no time. Y'all have no issue about trying to undercut us as if it's all business and it's all good at any time. So, as a black man, I could look at Africans' actions towards me as a black man in America as hatred, but I don't. But at the same time, I could call a spade a spade. So if you got a problem with that, that's your problem. Because when it boils down to it, this really is about the imagery sometimes of black men. And even Wode Maya was talking about, was alluding to certain things. And that was the issue about it. Because at the end of the day, I can be viewed as negative, but you can't be viewed as negative. That's what this is about. I'm the big bad black man who's big brother on one end, who's the villain on the other end, who's not doing enough on one end, but who's also your savior on another end, and who's supposed to act like Helen Keller the whole time. Don't work like that. My apologies for taking too long.
No, it's fine because we all long-winded tonight. Here's one thing I want to talk about before we get to the ghetto comment that he made. So shout out to the guys that are super chat. Let me I see some of y'all trying to be funny tonight. Don't get it fucked up. You will you will get roasted, nigga. You will get roasted. Hold on one second, Tony. Let me just read these super chats. I'll send you the link, doctor. This is Marcus 448. Oshay likes a burnt Neanderthal. Thank you, Ricky 245. Thank you. $2. Power and strategy. Same people, same experiences. Here's what I want to say, man. Like he was saying, like if you go to Africa, you're gonna, people are gonna be welcoming you with open arms and stuff like this. And you guys know I have been to Africa twice, and to be fair, there's the one dude that heard my stream. It's like named Aman Ra. He's from Kenya. He's like, you can't really speak on Africa because you haven't been there long enough to live there. And to him, I tell him I can make any kind of statement I want to based on whatever the fuck I want to do because I was there and I'm just telling you what I saw. Here's another thing too. When Black Americans go to Africa, no matter how interested you are in the culture, no matter how interested you want to be there. Let me put you on mute real quick, fam, because you, Edward, just real quick. The way that they look at, the way that I see this is the only people who are really welcome like that in Africa that I see, for the most part, are white people. I could tell you that Africans, if they see a white person, they will even shun their own brother aside to go help this white person. I mean, I've seen this all the time. Just my short, visits there. I could be in a restaurant, and when I go to, Africa, I call myself the stimulus package because I'm gonna spend more money in Africa because I want to help people and stuff like that. They could be white people, man, and I know that these people probably don't have as much money as me. I can see that this person is gonna get served first. The thing about it is that even as a Black American, a lot of Africans have this, a lot of self-hate issues that it's sometimes maybe even worse than Blacks have here in America because the white man's ice is really, really, really colder, that I've seen in Uganda. I've heard other blacks say that on YouTube when they go to Africa, that in certain situations they'll get served. A white person will get served before them. So we got to understand that even going back to Africa, for a lot of African Americans that are interested, we have to really give up a whole lot. You know what I mean? When it comes to bringing, really, and in Africa, you have to bring your own money there, your own resources there. You have to start your own business there. You can't just go back to Africa, man, and not, you're going to have to really support yourself and try to do well. And a lot of times, man, you're going to get, the same, a lot of times, Chinese people are other races of people, man, they're going to have a higher esteem than you, and that's just the truth. I've seen this. You know what I mean? I think a lot of blacks who have been to Africa have also seen this. You've understood this. You've gotten overcharged for things. Now that could happen anywhere, but somebody will overcharge you for something and give you. I had one African dude, man. I got into his taxi. He said, "Yeah, man, it's gonna be 25,000 shillings. Get to the place." Nigga told me 45,000. I said, "Wait a minute, dog. You just said 25? No, 45,000. Like, these things that you're gonna have to give they're gonna happen to you. When people see you as not being from there, automatically, man, they're looking for you as an opportunity and stuff like that. So, Africans got to stop acting like, when you go to Africa, you're going to just basically get treated like with open arms and shit. You're going to get treated with as many open arms as much money as you have in your pocket. And that's my feeling about it. Go ahead.
I think Tony in here.
Oh, that's Tony. What up, Tony? Let's let Tony weigh in on it.
Yeah.
Who's driving?
Oh, my bad.
Go ahead, Tony. Go ahead and drop some knowledge, player.
Nah, man, it's just I'm just listening. The thing with me is I never got. I had a chance to go to Africa once, and that was when I was in the military. I went to Mombasa, Kenya, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around this. I'm trying to understand, where all this is really coming from. I mean, what is all this? This animosity, because we look at this, man. I mean, it's basically the same game has been ran on us at the same time. We just called it different shit.
Okay.
They called it apartheid. We called it Jim Crow.
Yeah.
You see, they call it slavery. We call it colonialism. They call it colonialism. We call it slavery. And, I don't understand from the African perspective. I don't understand, why are you puffing your chest out? I mean, you realistically, you don't control your own economy. Realistically, the IMF and the World Bank controls your economy. Right. So what is that to throw in the face of black people? What is that to try to rub our nose? You're going to try to rub your balls in our faces. And if we really tell the truth, dog, I mean, you are where we were back in the early part of the 20th century. So I don't understand what all this, if a movie can do all of this, maybe they should make some of these movies in the field of economics. Maybe they need to make some of these movies in the fields of military strategy and tactics, because if you don't control, if you are not a military superpower, you're not an economic superpower, to me, Africa and the cities in Africa, to me, if you're talking economically and socially, they're no different to me than Delancey Street in New York City. The languages are just different. It's the same shit. Just like they got panhandlers in New York City trying to beat you out of a dime, they got panhandlers in Accra trying to beat you out of a dime.
Yeah.
So I've never understood what was it. What was the? I don't understand the substance of that. Why are you trying to ball rub with us? I mean, you're only 2 or 3 generations out of, if not apartheid, you're out of European economic colonialism, and you're still in European economic colonialism.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get it twisted. Wakanda is fictional. Wakanda is fictional. Say it with me. Wakanda is fictional. It does not exist. So I never really understood that, and I never really understood, from our perspective, why we would throw off, on them, because it's, to me, the whole thing always, boiled down to the problem. The reason we even having this discussion is because realistically we're losers right now. Africans or people throughout the diaspora, they don't control anything economically, politically, or militarily. They're not superpowers.
All of us. Yeah.
So the only reason we having this discussion is because we're at the bottom of the food chain. Now, they always talk this shit about culture. And, Black people will say, well, I'm not an African. And I'm not, okay, well, you haven't been. I get that. You're not an African. That's not your experience. But I always say, it's a little, I go to a Tai Chi class here in Ohio.
Okay.
And it's a little Asian boy here. His name ain't Lee or Chi, or his name is Harry. His name is Harry. You see? And the fact that he has an American name, and he hadn't set foot in Beijing, Shanghai, or any of those other Chinese cities in the country, but that hasn't stopped him from identifying. He don't know shit about China, but it hasn't stopped him from identifying with that culture, even though he has never seen China. He has never seen China. Harry plays baseball, you see, but the fact that Harry plays baseball doesn't negate the fact that he still identifies with being a Chinese American. He's not hung up on that silly split personality foolishness that a lot of us seem to have. Same thing with Jewish people. Jewish people, a little 10-year-old Jewish kid right now, he's never been to Israel. Don't know anything about Israel, but he will identify as a Jewish American to this very day. When I go to the Jewish Community Center, he is there reflecting his culture, even though he has no relationship with Israel. He doesn't. His parents, are assimilationists to the core. And I noticed that in these instances where these people still maintain these positive relationships, is usually because these countries have some type of power. There's some type of economic or some type of military power that their cultural identity flows from. And I think that the only reason we're having this problem is because nobody that looks like us has any real substantive power, So
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
When I listened to that, I sit back. I said the only reason we're actually having this discussion is because we're at the bottom, and it sounds kind of foolish to me at times. It sounds kind of silly to me at times because, Harry is 14 years old, and Harry actually doesn't even speak Mandarin. I went up to Harry one day and said, "Ni hao." He said, "Huh? What are you talking about?" So the fact that he doesn't even speak Mandarin, he doesn't even speak the language of the country of his origin, but yet he still identifies with that country. And he identifies with that country, and they have an identity with that country because that country has a modicum of power on the global scale. So, I mean, a lot of this to me is like arguing over pennies. It's like arguing over crumbs to me. I really don't understand it. I don't understand any of it because neither side, neither Africans nor African Americans, none of us have room to really ball rub in each other's faces. I don't get this.
Let me say this real quick. My site moderator from he's like a Nigerian African history historian. He's really good. He's supposed to come on to the stream, so he's the guy that built the Negro Manosphere and actually operates. So he might be coming on. Hey, I'll let you weigh in, Eddie. This is what I want to say before we. I'm gonna ask a question because I kind of take myself out of the discussion. But what I want to know is this: the point that a lot of Africans are making is that a lot of African Americans we have a pejorative idea about Africa. We think that they're out there swinging on trees. We think that it's not developed. We think that everybody's dying from AIDS or HIV. Everybody is superiorly poor. So what I want to know is, are these claims correct? Do you think African Americans have a bad thought process of Africa? But go ahead and weigh in on whatever you're going to say, Eddie, and then we're going to go to Edward, and then we're going to go to LAR. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just want to say to Tony, like, I completely understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, it's pretty obvious what's going on. Yeah, it's an issue of power, but the reality is, I come from the school of Dr. Claude Anderson. And one thing that Dr. Claude Anderson says in relations to the diaspora, as far as Africa as a continent, as well as America, is we have the intellectual property and in the capital, they have the resources. You really need resources to really build wealth, and wealth is calcified a lot more than people want to admit in the United States of America. So for our population, it would behoove us to create trade lines, regardless of whether it's the Nation of Islam or wherever we do that, with Africans for the mutual benefit of both groups. I mean, I could come up with multiple examples with Nollywood, whatever. I won't do that. So you got people that want to do business on both sides. And then you got ignorant folks that can't rise past their own tribalistic emotional BS. Like on the African American side, you got people that want to talk about, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, I'm an Indian, I'm everything but black. These bullets find you no matter what you call yourself. The reason why we say African American is really because we were descendants of slaves in this country. That's it. Like, I don't care about the names. And in America, a lot of folks, that's been exhibited in this chat as well. People want to say, I'm everything but black. Well, okay, say you're that when they come for you. Just like when Haitians say that I'm not black, I'm Haitian. And then when Donald Trump want to say, I'm about to not renew the the emergency, you can be here, then they want to say, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? And we start sharing those hold your nuts memes. All that's because you've already established that you don't want to work with us in general in the first place. So it's the same. So that happens here, but that also happens over there where they want to hide behind tribalism, culture. They use these subjective terms as a way of keep staying in a position where we can't talk about business. We can't talk about the fact you're going to our schools that we build. Yeah, white money, but we built them up. And then you all are not really doing that for African Americans here. You all think you're entitled to these schools. You don't want African Americans to start thinking politically and be like, okay, well, we're going to treat all Africans. We're going to treat non-African Americans like immigrants. We're going to treat them like Hispanics and all of that, meaning y'all are doing the same thing these other groups are doing. And quite frankly, it don't matter if you black. If you're not helping us, there's no point you getting here. And now you got a person that's a president where it has a trigger finger to want to block out Somalis, block out Sudanese, block out and if we were to use that politically to start targeting Africans and get them out of here, they wouldn't like that. We would be, as African Americans, entitled to do that. Now, granted, Liberians are the only people that really have a claim in the United States because of the relationship with the country as far as being in a colony. That's why I'm glad Trump decided to extend that with them. And they're the only ones that really kind of get it more than other Africans do because of the relationship between, as good or bad. And so my point is this: you got people that want to do business, and then you got people that's about the bullshit, the old ways of thinking. They want to, and that's really where, the balls are rubbing together. We'd be like, look, I'm going to give you a better deal with that white dude, and I got the same money as that white dude. All black people can't say that, but only 5% of African Americans have passports. So when they go to Africa, as expensive it is if I go to Africa from America, you already know these people got money, and you already know they got intent. Because if they just wanted to travel, we just go to Europe. It's cheaper. And we'd have a better quality of life experience.
Okay, no, don't forget.
So anyway, that's really where the hashtag is.
Let's get on to the point.
Ask the question.
Also,
ask the question.
Okay, answer the question really quick, you guys, because we want to let LAR movement talk. So we
let LAR movement talk.
Okay, let's do this. Talk. So Edward, just really quick. Do you think, and this is really quick, right? I know we all like to talk, but you made a great point last time when you were saying, do you think that African Americans, are we thinking that Africans are less than us? Do we think they're swinging on trees? I've heard African Americans say this to be fair, but let's do our black people not wanting to go to Africa because they feel that Africans are diseased, they're poor, they're swinging on trees, lions in their front yard. What do we think African Americans think of them? See there?
We're indifferent. That's the short answer.
I think we're indifferent. Okay. Let's go to LAR. LAR, go ahead and weigh in on anything you want. I know you've been waiting a long time to talk.
I think when it comes to those stereotypes, I think there are people who do say that, and I think it's stupid to say that. I think they're stupid when they say that. But if the stereotype is based on something you can find either online when people are viewing Africa, or sometimes if you go a negative stereotype, which by the way, Africans have very negative stereotypes of us as Black people, and they can come here and say, I told you they was like that. So to me, it's like a fair exchange. You might be viewed as negative from me, and I might be viewed as negative from you. So what's the big deal? Does my stereotype hold more weight than yours, or vice versa? You know, but I mean, personally, when people say that shit, I think it's stupid. I haven't heard it as an adult more than I have as a kid, though.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to ask a question.
Go ahead.
Where did these stereotypes come from?
White folks.
Okay, I agree. My point is, it would make more sense for us to be addressing the source of it. Would be more productive for us to address the source of the stereotypes instead of arguing about which one is true. And I know that's what we do. That's just how people are. Mm-hmm. So I want to go back to the other guy. What he said was right. But I would ask him this question, and he talks about excluding Africans, and I need him to educate me. What power would African Americans have to exclude anybody? I mean, realistically, what political power would we have to exclude anybody from anything? What economic power do we have to exclude anybody from anything at any point? Because every time I look at anything that African Americans have, anything that we have, anything that we've created, and again, I agree with your point, but see, for me, it still comes back down to power. See, all that stuff to me, it means shit if you can't make any decisions about what's going to happen. We can sit up here and argue till the cows come home, but if you don't have the power to enforce that reality, it's just chin music. Because in terms of spending, we have spending power, but we haven't directed and marshaled that spending power. We have schools. I graduated from Norfolk State University. I graduated from an HBCU. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you, as a graduate from an HBCU, it wasn't Black people that controlled Norfolk State University. It was the state of Virginia that controlled the state, Norfolk State University. So when we start, again, I speak about things in terms of power. If you don't have the power to do anything, then I don't understand the argument.
My answer to that, that's an interesting, I'm glad you framed it that way, because the way I'm going to flip that, and I'm going to say this: you have a lot of groups, both foreign and domestic. When I say domestic, I'm talking about within Black people, and I'm talking about non-Black people that are invested in us not even having this conversation. Because the first thing comes is the idea. The second thing comes is taking inventory, which is the question you just asked.
No. The question I asked is about power. I'm talking about power. I ain't talking about inventory. I'm talking about power.
Yeah, but at the same time, it starts with a focused intent. You can't have power if you don't say you're going to do something. And really, I'm just throwing ideas. So when you say, do we have power? Let's start with the spending power thing. The problem with our spending power is how it's directed. That's all it is. It's pretty much like, it's like a lot of people like to frame that as like, if you look at it like a faucet and sink and say, we don't have any water in the sink. No, the reality is we haven't plugged up the sink to even build wealth, to focus it, to even do anything. So we have spending power, we just don't spend it the way we need to. So when we're having conversations like this, we're having conversations like this in order to say, okay, what's in our best interest first? And then that's where the conversation is, because ideally we want African Americans and Africans working together economically. That's really what it counts. We don't care about Africans as far, they can have their culture. But what we're saying is economically, we have something they need and they have something we need to build the very power you're talking about. Now, if they don't want to have that conversation, then Maybe it's because we have the power to not be as welcoming as we are. We have a power to ask these questions. You know, if we were to start primarying congressional Black caucus members on the low, because let's be honest, with when they talk about stuff like DACA and stuff like that, they're talking about Hispanics. They're not talking about Black folks. We know that. So we know other non-Black groups would not care to phase out Africans, because that's what would be in their best interest anyway. So we do have it. It's per leverage. We just don't execute that.
Well, I would say this. You could, again, I would agree with you. You could have all the water in the world, but if you don't connect the pipes, you don't have the water. And insofar as the CBC is concerned, the Congressional Black Congress is concerned, I don't equate the Congressional Black Caucus. I make a distinction between power and influence. Influence says, I would like for you to do this. Influence says, I would like for you to do this. Power says, you are going to do this, whether you like it or not. Example, the disparity between cocaine, powder cocaine, and crack cocaine. We've known for the longest that the sentences were disparate. We've known for the longest that that situation was unfair, but we largely didn't have the power to correct it. Now we reduced it, but we haven't eliminated it altogether. Now, am I getting off topic? No, because I'm talking about power. We have influence, but we don't have power. And we can say, well, it's there, but if it's not on, you don't have it.
All right. Okay.
So
If it's not there.
Wait.
If you can't touch it, it's not there.
All right. So let me just interject this real quick, and then we're going to go to LAR. I know that you want to respond, but it's more people than just us on the panel. I just want to say, just to your point.
No, you're right.
Yeah, well, I'll let you go to LAR. I just want to say this to Tony. Tony makes a point that we need to address where this comes from, and he's definitely right when he says it does come from white people. However, what people are going to receive is, if somebody says these pejorative things about you, people are not going to think about, oh, well, this comes from white people. What people are going to say is, you have made up your mind from whatever you're saying out of your mouth to say, I swing on trees or I swing on bananas. And so at the same time, there is a personal choice that is involved in us talking about Africans in a pejorative manner, or them talking about us in a pejorative manner. And I think that's what this is about. We understand that white folks have played it on both sides. I think but the issue is that we understand that we've made the decision individually to say, okay, all you niggas are dumbs, or you niggas in Africa swing on trees. And that's how the person's going to receive it. And we know we can say, oh, where does it come from? But a person on the street, like when we look at a black man that kills another black man, black on black crime, Pookie shoots Edward Anderson in the foot. You don't think like,
come on, man.
Well, damn, that's because of the white man he shot me. That's not how we think. You know what I mean? And what you're saying is true. I mean, I don't disagree with that. But I think also at a certain point that both blacks and Africans have to try to make light of and try to understand one another better and come to the table we're talking about, basically to get a better understanding. Let me just do this. Let me go to LAR. I'll let you address it too, Tony, if you want to rebuttal it. But
no.
LMR. What'd you say, Tony?
Oh, you good. Go ahead. Go to LAR.
Let's go to LAR real quick.
I'm gonna make a statement kind of like a question. So is it that Africans view us of being in America and we have the machine and we ain't doing enough with it? And we're viewing Africans as, you have the resources and you ain't doing enough with it. So it looks like a dick swinging contest of superiority of who should be closer to power than the other person. Instead of getting together and saying, look, absolutely, I know how to work the machine, and I'll show you what to do and how to move the resources.
Absolutely.
But in the middle of this contest is disrespect.
Yep.
Yep. Right. You got it.
Because at the end of the day, it's like, okay, me being black, because I'm gonna separate black and Africans just so people understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
Me being black, I don't have to acquiesce to your African culture. I don't know it. It ain't my culture. I know more about my New Orleans culture than I know about African culture. I know more about my Chicago culture than I know about African culture. And I'm talking about the black part of that culture from the area.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know your Nigerian culture. I don't know your Ghanaian culture. I don't know your Zimbabwe culture. I don't know none of that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna have to respect me loving my culture where I'm at, and I respect you loving your culture where you at.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you want to work together or not?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. There it is.
There it is.
Respond to that.
Yeah, no, that's good. Let's go to was it Edward or Tony? Which one of you guys?
Edward, go to Edward.
Okay, go ahead, Edward, and then we'll go to Tony. So.
Understand that a part of communication is if dialogue, no matter who you're doing it, when you're trying to resolve like issues, the key is communication. That's a part of any good relationship, and the ability to have open dialogue. So understand something. I talk to Africans literally, man, every couple of days. I've talked to Kenyans, Ghanaians, just talked to a really good dude that I got his information from Liberia. And I'm gonna tell you, shout out to Dynas, because if you don't know nothing about Africa, you go listen to Dynas videos, they'll automatically separate you from the nigga category. You start talking to them with that information, because they see you care about where they are and who they are. I just talked to a young, actually Nigerian teenager that I took him to the soccer thing and really hooked them up. And I've always shout out to Negro Manosphere. So I'm not coming at this from a percentage of malice or anything. I'm saying this is what's out here and this is what's said. Now, to go to what was said, the question that I'll ask Tony in particular is this. Who do you think creates the biggest roadblocks to working with the other group? Do you believe African Americans do that or Africans do that? Because Tony is big to say it all originates from the white person. Well, Oshay can tell you, when it comes to me, you preach it to the choir with me. I know that. But I'm willing to make a lot more concessions. And I personally believe African Americans are willing to make a lot more concessions to reach out to Africans than vice versa. When you talk about like a certain class of productive black people, don't look at like Pookies and Ray Rays and then try to define like people on this panel based on experiences that you've had as a Pookie and Ray Ray. And I mean that, I mean Africans. So my question to you again is, who do you think creates the biggest roadblocks as far as not understanding that the white person is the person that created all of this? And that's why we have these issues in order to not work together. That makes sense.
I think it's a fair question. Go ahead, Tony.
Well, let me be honest here. Okay. I think that both I think niggas can be unproductive, and I say that whether you be a nigga from Liberia or whether you be a nigga from Louisiana, a nigga's a nigga to me. Okay, right. I don't make any distinction, but I will say this. See, it's never an either or argument with me. It's always an and or but. I have been able, and the people, well, let me take this from, I can only tell you what I've seen. I don't have any empirical evidence at this point. I think that both sides have been equally as counterproductive. I don't think it's one or the other. I think both sides have been counterproductive. I understand that in real time, people don't go and say, well, the white man did or the white man said thus. I get that. You don't have to explain that to me. But what I'm saying is this, is that both, to me, from my perspective, both sides have been equally as counterproductive. Both sides have been equally disrespectful. To me, both sides have been, because I can remember, I served in the military with some Africans. And I can remember some of the brothers from Alabama and Georgia tripping on them, and talking about that shit about swinging in trees and all this and all that while you over here. And then while he was saying that, the white chiefs and the white officers were fucking over both of us, while we were sitting here having this discussion. So I think that there's going to be some fallout simply because of our past experiences. There's going to be some gridlock. There's going to be some problems. And I don't believe that everything necessarily is the white man. I think that we can actually be our own worst enemies on both sides of the Atlantic. So to answer your question, I wouldn't say it's the African. I wouldn't say it's exclusively the African Americans. I would say both of them contribute equally to our own problems.
Let me just weigh in real quick. Guys, we have 300 people watching, only 125 likes, 10 dislikes. Let me just say this real quick. Y'all know that is unacceptable. We have an excellent panel tonight. And, you know, so y'all can at least like the video. Now, let me just say this real quick. For those people who want to vote for the Negro Manosphere Awards, why are you niggas not voting? Okay, so let me do this. We have some things for you. Get the likes up. Get the likes up. Y'all know how we do over here. Now, a few announcements. We have the Negro Manosphere Awards up. Okay, we have Edward as a moderator on the forum. There are a lot of brothers that are here right now. I'm seeing on the chat that you are not on the forum. This is what this means. When you watch this channel, or when you super chat, or when you Patreon, what you do as a black man, there is no call-in number right now, Ima. What you do as a black man is you are contributing indirectly or directly to negromanosphere.com. So what we do with the money that you give is we try to create opportunities, whether it's on the forum, whether it's through the blog. Tony writes for us. We have Donovan just finished another ebook. So we have these things that are available for you to get these resources, whether it's forum or networking with other brothers, or voting for your favorite writers or favorite black YouTubers. So we put this out here for your leisure. So guys, make sure that you take advantage of and these things are free. We got free ebooks, we got free comics. It's a lot of shit that we have that we have for free. So let me do this. I'm gonna post this. Moderators, let's post a forum link if we can do that real quick. Because for brothers, I have one brother waiting to get onto the forum right now. So let me do this. If you want to get onto the Negro Manosphere forum, press 1 in the chat. And what I'll do is I'll get you onto the forum. And what I'll also do is for those who want to vote for the Negro Manosphere Awards, it's been quite competitive, I will say.
Man.
Have you voted already? Edward?
Man, I know. I was just gonna say, man, those choices are hard as hell, man. So I voted on a couple, but it's like, God, man. So that's how you know it's.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So I haven't even voted for a lot of situations because, like, I'm still having a hard time voting for, especially for the writers, and I didn't vote anything for the writers or the main YouTubers of the year, stuff like that. But if you want to do the voting poll, you can go into for the voting poll. You can go into the description and vote for it. Let me just say this real quick on the topic, and I'll just be quiet. This is what I want to say. I think like the problem, with Haitians and Caribbeans, and I think Tony hit up a good point. A lot of Ghanaians, Caribbeans, or Haitians, when they come to America, they want to be distinct from African Americans. And I saw this at Howard University when I was a student there, and I would meet some students that were coming from like Port of Spain, Trinidad, and they would have a full scholarship, and they would be quick to tell me that their fathers didn't want them dating African Americans. Well, I think the problem is that we are fighting for the best of the worst, because if a Trinidadian man has the police pulling him over, the police is not going to be like, oh, wait a minute, don't shoot me because I'm Trinidadian, or don't take me to jail because I think what blacks think is we're fighting for the best of the worst. Africans are African Americans. And I think each group is trying to prove who's better in front of white people. I think that's really what it's the Civil War.
Yep. I can agree with that.
And I think really what it is at the end of the day, I think, and it's even worse, when white people go to Africa, or the Chinese go to Africa, man, I think they even treat those people worse because they know they can get away with it. You know what I mean? I think that really at the end of the day, as other groups see us, and it's the same thing in Poland. When a Polish person sees me in Poland, they don't give a fuck about my money or that I'm an American citizen. They're like, nigga, why are you here? I mean, that's what they think. And I think that we got to start really having a discussion about the fact that white people, for the most part, whether you Ghanaian, whether you are Nigerian, no matter what your educational group is, they do not want you living in their neighborhood for the most part. They don't want you marrying their kids for the most part. They don't give a fuck if you have an MD or a PhD or you a Pookie or Rary or a drug dealer. They don't want, I can guarantee you, if 10 Nigerians with cardiology degrees and specialties move into a white neighborhood, I can guarantee you that some of those white folks are moving out. And the thing about it is that I think that blacks need to understand of all races is that white people, for the most part, no matter what your educational group is or economic, they don't want nothing to do with you. I think that's just whether they want to say it or not. And that is exactly why it doesn't matter how educated you are. When you move in, they're moving the fuck up out of there.
Yeah, that's that.
Whether you're Nigerian or Ghanaian or Caribbean, nigga, they don't want to do with your black ass. And the thing is, they absolutely have that right. And so I think that's what blacks in America are trying to prove that, you know, and one last thing, and I'll give it up. I see a lot of blacks, you know, going to China or Poland. And when they get over there in those countries, man, they do whatever they can to really bootleg for those people and try to kiss ass in those countries. You know, I have a buddy who's from, I won't say what country he's from, but he's in Poland now. And but he's doing anything he can to kiss these Polish people's asses, like trying to be accepted by them. And it's one thing to live in somebody's culture, country, and to appreciate this culture. It's another thing to sell your own culture out, try to be accepted in front of them. And I see a lot of Africans trying to do that in certain European places. That's all I wanted to say. Who's next?
Can I interject on that?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I think I might be wrong, but part of this has to do with people coming here and having the idea that we don't have standards of respect for ourselves as black people. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is it comes off like I can come to America, I can hide under the umbrella of being black and get whatever benefits I can get from the benefits of being black, but I don't fuck with y'all like that. But y'all supposed to accept that that's what I'm doing and be cool with it.
Exactly.
And having an issue when we say something like, "No, I'm not accepting that, and I'm not cool with it," because part of what you were saying, Oshay, is part of the problem, because we see people code switch their respect when they're actually not black American and they black from other places. We see you say, "Oh, what's up, we brothers." And in a minute, somebody else goes, "Fuck that nigga. Hey, Mr. White Man, I'm with you, baby. I love you, baby. Pussy ass nigga, get the fuck away from me. I ain't black like him, goddammit. I'm from somewhere else. Don't mistake me from this bitch ass nigga over here."
Right.
And then when they say, "I don't fuck with you either, go back," and then they like, you know, say, "Brother, I was just playing. I was just playing, bro. I know I just tossed you like that, but you know, we cool again." And they act like we don't notice this, because, you know, I talked to some of my Hispanic friends about the same thing. I said, you know, we watch everybody. It's just like if somebody's Hispanic, they say black and brown people need to stick together. Then the next minute they say, like, we kind of white too, fuck them niggas, and act like we don't see both sides. And because of that disrespect, it would be different if you didn't come here and do it. See, if we went to your country, your city, your continent, you know, your island or whatever, and we saw that happen, that was one thing. But if you come here and try to hide under us and do it, that's a whole nother problem. Because I don't see a lot of black people going to the Caribbean, Central America, South America, or Africa and just telling people to kiss their ass or treat them bad like that. I don't see that.
Yeah,
I don't see us going. You doubling up, bro?
Oh, that's Need.
What's up?
What's going on, Need?
Yeah, I'm cool. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but I think you're echoing a little bit.
Okay, I'm trying to adjust everything I've got here. I hope it works fine. What about now? It's fine?
Yes. Now, guys, this is Need at a big bit. He's here also in Lublin, Poland. He is one of my best friends that I have, you know, in Poland at all. He is the creator, administrator of Negro Manosphere. He manages a site. So it took me years to finally get him to come to a hangout. So I want to, personally thank him for everything he's done, because there would be no Negro Manosphere as functional. He built the forum. He does anything that has to do with the site. So guys, I want to thank you for your Patreon support and stuff like that, because we are actually able to at least part-time employ him. Need just real quick, man, but because you're here, we want to give you the floor. I know it's late. Let everybody know where you're from, and how long you've been living in Poland, all that stuff.
All right, thanks for having me. I hope it's clear, because I used to like try not to get online live. So Oshay, you got me today to come live, and I hope I'm going to manage anyway. So my name is Ni Adebibe. I am an African. I was born in Lagos, Nigeria. I grew up in Lagos, Nigeria, and I actually studied in a city called Ilorin. It's about 300 kilometers from Lagos, on the way to central Nigeria. And I've been living in Poland since 2008, actually. So that's about 10 years now. And what else can I say? I've been looking forward to this hangout, and I think this is a very, very interesting topic about African Americans and not African. It's something I've really discussed with a lot of people over the years, and I think it's really, really not a problem. It's just a challenge, and together as Africans, as African Americans, there are a lot of things we have to look at and where we can work together. Not to still go deep into, because I really, really have a lot of things to say when it comes to that, but I think we as Africans, we are just a big family. Also, Africans in Africa itself, the diversity is so huge. Like, I live in a country called Nigeria, and I used to present Nigeria to people in Poland. That Nigeria is a country where you move just, let's say, 10 kilometers from where you are probably in a different place that speaks a different language and has a kind of a different culture. So now look at that. When we look at that in Africa as a whole, we're talking of something really, really, like, with the diversity is something you cannot match with any other place all over the world. So we can come together, and I also used to stress something like, you can't say because some chickens were born in ovens and you keep calling them biscuits. So no matter where you're born, if you're an African, you are an African. You could, I live in Poland now. If I have children here, I won't say, oh, my children are automatically Polish. Okay, even if if I have children, if they are by Africans, they are still Africans. It doesn't matter where you are born. And I used to stress this a lot. It doesn't matter where you were born. You might have lost a part of the connection. Maybe, oh, you can't speak African language. Oh, you are born in New Jersey. You were born in New York. You live the New York lifestyle. You are still African. The African in you is still there. I also tried to watch the Wode Maya film video very quickly before joining this live chart, and I felt like, well, the guy is making sense. There are some points where I might disagree with him, and I would like to agree with him most of the part of what he has said, but I still think we can come together. There are a lot of things we can do together. So I'll let all the people talk, and I'm still here. I'm still hanging out here, and if there's going to be questions and other things, I would like to contribute. Thank you.
And again, I want to thank everybody. Shout out to Cornelius Edwards, guys. I want to thank not only just me, Tony Mason is a big part of Negro Manosphere. Guys, when we started this, we didn't know if it was ever going to work. So I want to thank you, brothers, for supporting this channel, because, you brothers were the reason why we were able to launch it. And he manages it. He's put a lot of work into the site for Black men all over the world. But me and Nee have had some very interesting debates from the African-American perspective and from the American perspective. So let me ask you just really quick before we get to Eddie, Edward, I keep calling him Eddie, but what were some of the points that Wode Maya brought that you agreed with? Nia?
Well, okay, thank you. Well, Wode Maya mentioned about Africans African. Oshay, listen, about what Wode Maya didn't really mention was about the point where we could come together. So I don't like stressing the negativity of the whole thing. You
Okay.
know, there are a lot of negative things, and if we really want to dig into those negative part, we are not going to get things done. I've seen it. I've even seen. Okay, I'll tell you something very quickly of someone actually going to Australia to argue with Aboriginal Australians that feel they were from the Milky Way, that they were not even Africans. You know, they were from. They were, just imagine some people believing like, no, we're not from Africans. We're from the Milky Way. I don't know where that came from, but we can keep on arguing and talking about the things that divide us without focusing on that brings us together. The thing that brings us together is we are one family. We are we are these people that we are very, very, very diverse, and that's what we could work on. Our diversity is unmatchable anywhere in the world, and it's a huge resource we can still tap into. And this is the part. This is the part I want us to really focus on, not about the negativity, because
Uh,
I did follow Wode Maya, and I don't want to stress on that
Okay.
part of what divides us really.
All right, we'll talk about this. Let me do this. Tony, I just muted you really quick because there was some noise coming out of your thing, but you can unmute yourself. I think it's like some like yelling or something. So Tony, I had just quickly muted you. It was like what or something like that, dog, coming out. I was like, what the fuck is that? So I don't know if you know how to unmute yourself, Tony. Just go to the top of your phone, or okay, there you go. All right, Edward, go ahead and weigh in, bro.
yeah, respectfully, in America, when we have conversations like internally about with African Americans in America, I mean, Lord knows we have those conversations.
Okay.
There's always people, I'm a big follower of like Jason Black, and there's always people because we get real intense in those groups. And whenever there's always people that what I call the why can't we all just get along Negroes. And these are the black folks who are like, why are you arguing? Why not looking at the merits of the argument? Because the point of a discussion when we have these type of discussions is number one, to hash things out. Number two, to come to a consensus, which is the come together part. And but first you got to find out where people are coming from. So respectfully, when it's like, oh, well, I don't want to focus on the negative because I don't want to be negative. Well, that never goes anywhere. If people have these attitudes, they don't ever go anywhere. They're like energy. They just take on a different form.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't ever reveal what those perspectives are, like for instance, there's a lot of Africans that diametrically reject Pan-Africanism. I've heard Africans make the argument and use like the killing of a lot of Africans, saying that Africans have been killed, under the name of Pan-Africanism, ripping their culture from them, because you need to be one whatever, right? So I'm just saying that because that's their reason. That's their reasoning they'll say. So the point is, you got people diametrically toward Pan-Africanism. Well, I am supportive of Pan-Africanism. Now, with that said, I'm cool with you having your own cultural attitudes, but I'm talking about Pan-Africanism from an economic basis. So my point is, you just say, let's just not talk about those issues. You never find out where they're coming from with it to address that. So we never go anywhere. And I understand that Africans across the board have this kind of mentality, and I respect it where you keep certain things behind closed doors. I think African Americans could use a little bit of that because we tend to be very loud. And I'm saying African Americans. And that is why people always know what the hell we doing, is why they can always stop what the hell we doing. But when we're having these kind of conversations, if you don't ever say what you agree with is negative, then we can never answer that to address if that's valid, if that's not valid, to come to a greater consensus. So what it tends to be is, like I just said, it just be this, well, we're just going to come together. If we were just going to come together, then that would have happened already. Yeah, white folks don't even just come together. That's why they have all these little conventions and stuff. So they say, okay, we're not going to kill each other for now because we need to divide up this other shit. They would never do that. They didn't understand each other.
Okay. Let me just do this again. Shout out to Cornelius.
Sorry,
go ahead.
Oshay, let me just say something very quickly.
And then we'll go to Elliot. Go ahead.
When I mentioned the issue of negativity, I was just talking about not talking about what someone else has mentioned. All right, I just came onto the forum. I'm not going to bring all these negative things onto the table. Just coming on live now. So someone you mentioned about a guy, Wode Maya, and I watched this video. He said some negative things, and you asked me what those negative things are. And I said, well, I am not going to talk about those negative things he mentioned. Okay? I have a lot of things that I might say, oh, these are some things I don't agree on, and people might also have theirs. For me, that's fine. These are things you are going to talk on again and again and find how you people meet together at some particular point where you agree. But it's not like, oh, it's not, I am not going to accept the fact that probably some Africans are always trying to push this off the table and not talk about it. Because, of course, if you don't talk about it, you are going nowhere. But I am not going to stress someone else's negative comment. And that's my point. That is what I said.
Okay. Okay. Let's go to LAR. And Tony, you're next. Go ahead, LAR.
I forget. I can't. What was your name again, bro?
That's Nee.
Nee. Okay, Nee.
NIYI. Nee.
Appreciate you, Nee. Can you see that? I'm gonna give you a perspective, and I hope hopes you understand what I'm about to say. When you say that we're all family, you mean like we're all family in some way, shape, form, or another because we're black and we all descend from Africa, right?
More or less, yes.
Well, in some ways, from our perspective over here, you have to be family when it's inconvenient for you too. And in some ways, we view Africans as we're family when it's convenient for you guys, but we're not family when it's inconvenient for you guys. So we don't view it as family. You get what I'm saying?
Sure.
So with family, you have to show how much you're gonna be family and the things you do and the sacrifices you make. Now, history, long hundreds of years ago, history put aside, we're looking at maybe 30, 40, 50 years. What is y'all history from sacrificing and being family with us when it's inconvenient from your perspective?
Is that a question I shall answer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, oh, sorry, I wasn't following. Let the question come again.
Like, in your opinion, what have Africans done to show they were family to Black Americans that showed that y'all cared even when it was inconvenient to you guys?
All right. Well, I might not be able to give the best answer, but in my opinion, I will say in most cases, the Africans in Africa might have had a leadership that, well, we wouldn't say has been so perfect. But when you look at the time the Pan-Africanism itself was taking full shape, the African leaders actually connected to the African Americans leadership and tried to reconnect to the root. Like, you people need to come back home. You have to support this development happening in Africa, and you have to help us one way or the other. We have to work together as a people. So I think what the Africans have done in this kind of if I should put it this way, is they've been able to reach out. When you reach out to to a group of people, it shows like, okay, you're actually calling people to come and help you, to come and support you. You've made the first step. If something is also needed from this side, we expect them to say, okay, this is what we also need in return. We are going to, we welcome this, and this is what we could get, and this is what could be given. Maybe this answers your point. Does it?
Somewhat. The reason when I was listening to what you said,
Okay.
part of what you said, we need to come back and help Africa. I think the part of the problem is some of us, we don't want to go. When is Africa going to come help us? Maybe some of us don't want to leave here.
No, you don't get the point. Helping doesn't mean coming back to live in Africa. We're not telling people to leave the United States of America and totally migrate to Africa. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. Helping doesn't mean, oh, coming back. No, you can help in various forms. sharing expertise. It could be know-how. It's a variety of things. So that's it. Like, people have to know, like, helping doesn't mean like, oh, I have to totally pack my bags and move to Calabar or move to Ghana. No.
Okay.
Let me say this real quick.
Sorry.
Captain Kirk, I don't know who the hell you are, nigga, but come on, put you on. I don't know who the fuck you are. Let me just say this real quick. One thing I will give, and Need just made me think of something. I know Ghana has tried to make laws lenient in certain aspects for those blacks who were interested through the Pan-African movement. I know Kwame Nkrumah was very influential in that. Those blacks, and that's why you have, I think, so many Americans living in Ghana now, because there's certain stipulations that were allowed for them to either to have their long-term stay there or to do certain things. So in that respect, I think Ghana has made several steps forward for black people to try to come back. I know that there's several African Americans that have, really successful businesses there because the government has allowed certain things, and they have, always allowed that door to be kind of open for African Americans. At least that is one country that I know about for sure. I don't know any other African. I mean, is there any other African countries outside of Ghana, that does that?
Well, I think Nigeria did that also, but it was before independence, and most people that came back were basically most of them were Brazilians, actually. The Afro-Brazilians that settled in Lagos. So we have the time of the Daroshas, the Pedros. I don't really know more details about this, but some people actually came back from Brazil back to Nigeria and settled in Lagos. And but I really don't know the government involvement and what's the requirements and stuff like that. But yeah.
Okay. Let me get to Tony Mason because he's been waiting for a while. Tony, man, I'm sorry about the wait, bro. Go ahead and drop some knowledge on him.
Nah, I don't drop knowledge, man. I just make observations. Man. But I think that inside of all families are not perfect.
Right.
All families, we all got scandalous niggas inside of the family, and sometimes things got to be said. Sometimes stuff got to be put out in the open. And families, I don't know why people, why we're not under the assumption that people fight, because families fight. Not all families are perfect. This is not the Brady Bunch. It's not the Cosby Show. We have disagreements. But I don't think that the disagreements, once we look at it, it's not really so much as a disagreement as it is, we just want to air our grievances. We just want to be heard. It's not so much that we disagree. It's that we want to be heard. And I think when we asked the question, LAR asked the question, he said, well, he made a good point when he said, if we're going to be family, you can't treat me, like a hoe, if we're going to be family, you're going to have to respect me when it's not convenient for you. You can't hide me when, the next person come along, or when somebody outside the family come along. You can't hide me like you're ashamed of me. So I think that, and again, we do that shit in families all the time. Mm-hmm. So I think that, it's not perfect. It's not a perfect situation. And I don't think that either side can sit back and say, what have you done for me, or what have you done for me? Both of them are gonna have to step up and be more aggressive. It's not just specifically, it shouldn't just specifically be put on the shoulders of the Africans, and it should not be put on the shoulders of just African Americans. Everybody's gonna have to step in and make that little extra effort if you want things to happen. Okay. So it's not perfect. It's never gonna be perfect, but you're gonna have to make do with what you got.
Okay, let me just do this real quick, guys. We have 240 people watching right now. Get the likes up. Appreciate you brothers who are supporting the stream, but we need to get more likes. We have 243 people watching, so I know it's getting a little late for some people, but support the stream by liking the video. For those of you that want to super chat, do that. Let me just add this in here. I think in the case of like as an African American and Black American, right? I think like me, I have a little bit of a different experience because number one, I am an African American that is from, shout out to Alpha Male for $2 super chat, living in America, and then I've lived here in Poland for almost 3 years. In the case of, I think like Nee's never been to the United States. So I think, you know, he knows about the United States, but he hasn't never really interacted with so many African Americans so much, I think, to have the experience. Because when we're talking about Africans, I think what we're talking about for the most part, maybe I'm wrong, LARMOVEMENT, but we're talking about the Africans who have migrated to the United States that we have had some quarrel with or disagreement with, stuff like that.
Yes.
So when we address the question like that to Nee, it seems. I mean, I'm not saying he can't answer it, but he hasn't been to the United States, so it's very hard for him to be able to maybe kind of decipher that. So I want to kind of point that out real quick. But I just wanted to say this. You know, in going to Africa, because I know it's a beautiful thing. You know, I felt very relaxed there. Shout out to Alpha Male for $20 super chat. You know, I think the same thing that we as Black people, African Americans, I think before we can help anybody else, number one, our own communities are fucked up, and that's a big problem. It's a big problem because, you know, we have a hard time running our own shit, you know, and I think that before, you know, I know maybe individually we can take our skills to other places, but when we can't even control our own economies and things like that, it doesn't even make sense to think like, how the fuck can we help anybody else? Now, if individually, like let's say for a guy like Tony Maceo, he's a very bright guy. Eddie's a very bright guy. I mean, individually, yeah, you guys can go and help, but as a collective group, we got to be honest here. We have a $1.3 trillion fucking spending power, and we cannot get nothing for that. In exchange, we can get nothing for the vote. In exchange, we are still at the bottom of the barrel, and we are absolute. You know, in a certain situations, might as well not even be there. You know, when we were the first minority group in America, we didn't get shit. We are now number 2 after the Hispanics. What the fuck should we expect now? And I think that when you have a $1.3 trillion spending power, and that's still at an 80% out of wedlock birth rate. And when you look at situations like the Stephen Clark thing that we just had in Sacramento, you know, you got to think of the only Black people that are really in a position to go help Africa are the best of Blacks. And so I want to just say that by answering this guy real quick, Sports Auctionery. He said Africans, you know, Africans tend to do very, you know, on average, do very well in America. Well, why is that? I can probably argue that the majority of Africans that are coming to America are probably the brightest and most talented ones. I can tell you that from me and Nee know some people here in Warsaw, not Warsaw, but in our city, Lublin. And the guys who have tried to get visas to go to the United States have been turned down 7, 8, or 9 times. The one guy that we know that got a 10-year visa, Dr. Tosin, is an OBGYN in his country, in Nigeria. And he's working like an office job right now. And Captain Kirk, dog, I'm going to ban you from my channel because you're being a bitch. You know, so a lot of the Africans who are in America, you got to look at a lot of these people came from the Nigerian Civil War, what was it called? The 1967 through 70. What was it called? The Biafra War. A lot of these Africans are very talented people. They're very bright. You know, the worst of Africans are not coming to America or to Britain. You know, if you take the highest percentage of African Americans and you drop them in Liberia, or you drop them in Africa, you expect for those people to do very well, you know. So I think that we need to also look at that. I didn't mean to take up too much time. Who's next? Is it Eddie?
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
No, that's absolutely a good point, and I wish, you know, I would love to have these discussions with more Africans of different background, different experiences, because I do talk to Africans all the time, and usually the conversations don't get this intense because a lot of times people face to face, especially when they know you're trying to come in good faith, They kind of come off differently. But my thing is, we got a lot of people, and this is with Black people across the board, that are not having these conversations in good faith. Meaning, what they're trying to do is always jockey to get more than what they deserve. So, Tony described the Black diaspora as a family. I would describe it more as a partnership. And with any partnership that you put together, there's always bylaws, which is a common agreement, a common agenda. And then there is and you can still have your own stuff on the side, but when you form whatever you're forming, whether it's tangible or non-tangible, you have a common understanding. And what happens is we got a lot of people that will say, like even with that question LAR said, when LAR said, trying to audit like what has really been put on the table. Shout out to the Ghanaians. They put things on the table. They just helped buy, I believe it was either
some black banks, right?
Bank.
Yeah, so Chicago. They sure did.
Yeah, so Ghanaian, so this is not, I'm not saying it's not knowing what they have done, and yes, there is a lot more than successful African Americans against all the time because he always asks white folks for money. If he's Nigerian oil folks, because he doesn't promote thug beer, he can sell in the United States, maybe he would be able to create that. I think Nollywood and Black Hollywood could do a lot more together because Nollywood does a hell of a lot of productions. Absolutely. But they don't have a lot of money. They do so much with what they have. And we don't have a lot of people behind the camera that can do a lot of the camera work. So we can put more money in there. Black Panther proved African Americans was 37% of the initial run of Black Panther. That is $90 million in the first weekend. So when you look at how much a lot of these Legos movies cost to make, there's an opportunity there to bring a lot of money. So my point is, we're not saying this because we don't know what does happen, but I feel like, and this is not even to do this in the panel, because what you've done with the Negro Manosphere is proof for your own individual contribution.
Yeah, he's done a lot, man.
So let me acknowledge that. What I'm seeing though is this overall thing. When you look at the comment section or the chats, and a lot of Africans, the comments that they don't make comments talk about what I've talked about. What is Nollywood done? What is this done? They come off, oh, you haters, you do that. And it's kind of a sign that they don't even want to engage in the actual details. Because in my personal opinion, I think they don't know. I think they honestly don't know. They don't know the answer to those questions. So what they do is they kind of muddy it up to not ever go there because they honestly don't know. They don't even know what Africans do to even make us somewhat of a point. Anyway.
Hold on a second. Wode Maya actually just messaged me. So Wode Maya, he might come. I'm trying to get him to come to the chat. I just sent him the actual link. So Wode Maya, he just messaged me on Google Hangout. So I don't know if he'll be able to hop on the stream, but shout out to Wode Maya if he's there. He might be actually joining in with us. So I'll keep the stream. I know it's quite late here in Poland. If Nia can stay up for a few more minutes, it'd be great. Here's what I want to say, just briefly. Like Nia is okay. Like everybody on this panel is somewhat educated. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone. I know LAR movement is. Like Nia has his. You're in the master's program right now in economics, right?
Yeah, sure.
Tony has a master's in economics. I'm 70 weeks from medical degree, right? So we all can acknowledge that every black male in this panel is abnormal if you think about it. I mean, in any culture, I mean that the average Nigerian is not a master's in economics. The average African American doesn't have a medical doctorate degree, or so we're talking about 5 very unique African individuals are from the diaspora. On this particular panel right now, I feel like everybody, we all have some value in the diaspora or in Africa or wherever we are. So I just wanted to make that. I think, let me see, Wode Maya is messaging me right now. Go ahead. Let's see who was next.
Probably
Nee, yeah.
Well, Nee, I don't know what to say at this point. So
hold on a second, Nee, before you say something. I think Wode Maya is in the chat. Wode, go ahead and comment, bruh. I know you in here listening. So shout out to Wode Maya, guys. He's watching it right now. We have 200. We did have 300 watching. I'm sorry, Nee, I didn't mean to cut you off, but just wanted to connect with Wode Maya, and like I said, he's a good buddy of mine. Go ahead, Nee, and say what you're gonna say.
No. He can't go on. I really don't have what to say at this point.
Okay. LAR.
Okay. I think part of the reason why I said what I said about asking what people have done is because I think it's a trust issue. Because we know, like us as Black Americans here, we know the history of the things we've done to help Africa. And even being here, like we were talking about the Ghanaians buying the bank, we don't know of situations like that because that's really not advertised. And for my memory, that rarely happens on this end. So
yeah,
what winds up happening is when it comes to coming together between Black Americans and Africans, it seems like Africa knows what they want us to do for Africa, but we need to put down what we want Africa to do for us.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, are you going to do it? You get what I'm saying? Because helping, we don't want to help, and it's not reciprocated. And it looks as though the history is you don't really extend it you don't extend out an olive branch, and you won't help unless you get something first. And with our history in America, I don't think we're willing to give something first again. So that's my point.
Tony, do you have a point there?
Well, I mean, nah, man. I mean, not to me. It's simple. I think LAR is right with what he's saying. We're not in the position to extend, but again, I'll go back and say that both sides have to come to the table in good faith. I do know. I can't speak about anything currently. I'm not up on anything that Africans have done currently here in the 21st century. I do know that Africans served as inspirations. Malcolm X's greatest hero, one of his philosophical inspirations was Frantz Fanon, so they look to Africans for inspirations, just like the Africans look to us for inspiration. It was a reciprocal thing. But if we're talking about in terms of what LAR is saying, are you willing to extend it? It's almost like what the man said in the movie Money Talks. He said, same time. I don't know you, nigga. Same time. So everything has to be done. It has to be, both sides have to pony up. It's not, I don't think that one side should ask the other one. I think both sides should have to come to the table, and both sides should make some contribution. I don't think that one should be asked to sacrifice for the other. I think that if we're going to have this partnership or whatever you want to call it, it does have to be 50-50, but I don't see the weight being put on any one group, because I really think that both of them are essentially in the same basket. I think both of them are in the same boat. And so I can't ask if a dude is homeless, and I can't ask him for a blanket. You see what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense to me. So I think that both sides have to contribute in good faith. And if they're going to get out of this problem and get out of this situation, and they're going to have to figure out a way how to work together. That's the only way to do it. There's no, well, you put up first and I'll put up. No, if we're going to get out, everybody puts up, equally. Everybody comes to the table with something equal. So, that's where I'm at.
Let me just weigh in. Aaron, just give me this moment. So let me say this real quick. Wode, I don't know if you're still in the chat, but if you'd like to come onto the stream, I have sent you the link. I'm gonna just say this real quick. Me and Nee, I probably see him like once, twice, 3 times a week. And we always talk about taking the Negro manosphere into different parts of the continent. He was able to bring me Sylvanus from Lagos. I was able to get a brother from Nairobi. I feel like in the case of me as an African American who is burgeoning entrepreneur, if you want to call it that. The problem is for somebody like myself is, coming to Poland or to Romania is so much easier of a transition for us than it is. And I'm just saying this because he's in the European Union. For us going to a place like Ghana or Africa, and the reason why the facilities are somewhat similar, it's going to be cheaper for the same kind of quality of life. And as an African American, I think many of us want to be able to at least come back to the continent. But the problem is that, number one, there's a lack of information on really how to do it and where would you do it, and you have to keep, like, I might be going back to Uganda next week. It'll be my third trip. So you need to go out and make all of these extra connections. Like you said, same time. Who do you trust? A lot of places in Africa, there's not a lack of transparency. When you want to buy land, can you own the land outright like you can in the USA? Or do you have a 99-year lease? Or do you have a 50-year lease? All of these questions, starting a bank account. Like I tried to start a bank account in Uganda at Barclays. And it was very difficult to do it in comparisons to my ING bank account here in Poland. So just to transition to Africa is very difficult, just to even get in. And Africa is one of those places, unfortunately, if you want to come to the table and want to do things, you need to be there on the ground. You need to be there and you need to be making connections. You need to be there, doing things. There are a lot of different things. Like we're doing this stream right now. I don't think I can do this in Ghana. It'd be very difficult for me to do this. And I know I could probably not do it in Uganda. And I think that's a big problem for those of us who have a serious interest. Who's this calling me? Wait a minute. He's calling me on a different hangout. Don't do that, dog. Hold on. Bro. This nigga is trying to do a different hangout than the one So y'all hear this? Hold on. Let me click out of it. So, god damn. Wode, man, what are you doing, dog? Is he still there? He trying to call me on a different. Okay. So, and what I'm saying is like, if we want to come to the continent, a lot of these countries, they'll make it very easy for West African countries to come. Like Nee has a Nigerian passport. It's very easy for him to go to Ghana, or it's very easy for him to go to Senegal or Liberia without. But for African Americans, it's very difficult for us to want to even get back into bringing our skill sets if we want to bring it to the continent. It's very, very hard. And I think that also makes it very difficult. And also, not to say this, but it's very expensive. Just to, if you're in Africa, to fly from ECOWAS, right? To fly from here to Poland to Paris, it might cost me $80. But to fly from like Kenya to Uganda might cost you $200. It's so expensive just to even, really get to Africa and live there on the same quality you can, live here and do things. That's a big problem, I think, for a lot of African Americans who are very interested in wanting to go there and do stuff. We have to give up and risk so much. There's no, banks that give you, low interest rates and stuff like that. And it's just hard. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Eddie.
Yeah, I'll just say this. Like, I look at like the Negro manosphere. It's kind of like a small little case study of microcosm. You can correct me if I'm wrong with any of this stuff, Oshay, because I'm not 100% as far as how the stuff came together. But pretty much, you had money, you had an idea, you put the site together. Like as far as like the WordPress and all of it, in that. And then what happened was you had other people around you that invested their labor. People like Need invested their labor, time, and writers to get that going. Am I correct about that, or am I off?
You're correct. I mean, they got paid and stuff, but yeah, you're correct. Yeah, absolutely.
They got paid, but I would say they put their tender love and care into it too.
Absolutely.
Not just this money and do the minimum I can do, because they saw the vision. And because I know Tony keeps saying it like you got to do it at the same time, but historically that doesn't work that way. It's not what we all do it, not at the macro level. So like when we dealing with the type of conversations we're dealing with. So when you look at that, African American has the money, and then Nigeria has the skills and expertise, and or whatever ratio of that is, and then we created something that benefits a lot of different people across the board. That talks about black men. That's the same thing that can be scaled up. There's a lot of African Americans, whether it's celebrities, basketball players, what have you, that have money that they are willing to invest if they believe they can get a return on investment. And I do believe in American exceptionalism. I do believe in African American exceptionalism, and I do subscribe to what Tariq Nasheed as well as Dr. Clark Anderson says. Whether we're gonna have to do it first, because we're the ones that really push Pan-Africanism. Yeah. Caribbeans do it too, but we're the ones that's gonna have to push that. So we're gonna have to do the show and tell type of stuff and lead. That's what we're gonna have to do. And in order to lead, we need to first take inventory of ourselves, which is what you talked about as far as us dealing with our own communities. But as a meantime, when it comes to the upper class of black people, which is productive black people, particularly black men, I believe we need to put that olive branch out there. That's why I think people like Dynas and Home Team History is doing a good job really creating channels to gain African Americans up that do want to travel to Africa, about Africa. Oshay, you've definitely done a great job yourself. But with that said, part of that too is we're not going to do this under the guise of we're all the same family. Because I know knee doesn't mean this. So let me say that first. When I hear that from an African American, my first thought is he's running game on me. He's doing the church thing where he's going to create a situation that allows him to get more than what he's putting in. That's why I framed it like a partnership and not like a family. Versus, because at the end of the day, you got to put equal things in eventually. Now, one person may do more at first because, again, African Americans have the spending power. Now, another thing I'll go and say too is, with all that what you all said about the spending power, you don't ever really see Africans, when I say this, I'm talking about the elite Africans, and I'm talking about the ones that control government, really say, okay, we got all these Negroes that has all this money as far as spending power. Rather than giving white people that money, why don't we make it easier to give the money to us? And then we find, like, that's why I brought up the Hollywood argument. We find ways to create reciprocation as far as a trade line. I can tell based on the energy, just based on like a lot of these responses that I see in comments when this conversation comes up, a lot of Africans have never really took the time to really think about that. They just want, it's like, how can I get over on African Americans like Hispanics do or like Asians do? How can I get the most without doing something? And then they're not willing to invest, because we keep talking about everybody's got to do it at the same time. We got Africans that come over here that they're not even wanting to be associated with African Americans. So for those folks that are skilled, that are the brightest minds, how can I say, okay, we need to go at it together when they've clearly demonstrated that they don't want nothing to do with me? You said on that other video with Stephen Clark that David Carroll talked about that there's women, and some of them are black women, that will be prostitutes, but they say black men need to apply. I get that from a lot of Africans too. We'll take white money. We'll kind of take your money, but we're not going to treat you anywhere with respect, let alone give you what we give the white folks. And we do that under the guise of class. That's bullshit to me. And when we call it out, people don't want to address that, which tells people don't really want to deal with it. Anyway.
I want to respond to that. Oh, go ahead. Respond. Max City Limits just dropped $50. Y'all ugly niggas think y'all smart. LOL. Shout out to Max City Limits. Go ahead, Tony.
Well, Wode just pulled up.
Oh, Wode in here? What up, Wode Maya?
Hey, see, I'm in the dark, man. It's early morning. I just woke up, man.
You know, you have African Americans around the world, man. We're looking for you, brother. But before Tony responds, I want to just give a shout out. Like Wode Maya, I want to just say this, man. Wode Maya, not only is like, he got like probably right now he's probably my favorite YouTuber. No offense, LARMOVEMENT. You know, you're my boy. You my like favorite play cousin, dog. But you like my number 2 right now because Wode Maya.
I can sit on the beach, man. Stop tripping.
So I want to shout out to Wode Maya for coming in here, man. We talked on the phone. He's really, man, like I said, putting Ghana on the map, man, in China. The dude is speaking fluent Chinese, man. Like, bruh, he's the truth, right? Wode Maya is the fucking truth. He's the next big thing to blow, bro. Like, you know, like African Americans watch him. You know, we mad at him about this video, but I just want to tell you, you got a lot of love over here. Bro,
they're really coming for me, you know, Oshay. They are really coming for me. I'm scared of reading comments right now. I'm even scared for real. They're really coming for me. But like I said, I'm a fearless guy. I don't really fear anything. Like I just voice out my opinion, and I just hope that like each and every one of us will respect that, because that's my opinion. Okay, because I'm just tired of it. I don't hate any brother. Me, I never hate a brother. But the thing is, like, here in China, I got a lot of African American friends. Like, even you trying to link up with them. Like, let me tell you, Oshay, what happened to me. Like, I was in the same class with an African American, and there were a group of African American. So I saw them, they were black. So I wanted to, okay, these are my own brothers. So let me reach out to them. Immediately, I started moving closer. They started running away, calling me a Nigerian scam. I had to chase them. I chased them because I was like, why are you guys running? Why are you running? It's like, no, you're a Nigerian scam. I was like, hey, come on. I'm not even from Nigeria. I'm from Ghana. I'm just trying to talk to you guys. Like, I saw you. This investor, you had listed black people. So I was happy to see you guys. That's why I wanted to approach you guys. Like sometimes I don't understand. Because me, I see us to be one race, no matter where you're coming from. I just want togetherness. The video that I did, I don't mean anything just to separate the two. I just want togetherness. Like, we're one family. Don't let history, like, because of history, you decide that, because of history, I'm not going to talk to an African brother or something. But after this video, I realized that a lot of people talked to me and they were like, back in America, like, Africans hate them. Mm-hmm. And I kind of understand, because I have never been there and I have not experienced that. But here in China, because Africans hate you in America, when you come to China, you feel like, no, you're also better than us. That's how they feel over here. Okay, you get my point. Like, here in China, they feel like, oh, we're better than Africans. I'm not going to link up with... Like, there is an issue here in China about Chinese people calling every black person that they see African. I've even done a video about it. Mm-hmm. An African American wrote an email to me. It was like, Wode Maya, I hate to be called African. Please, can you just do a video, try to educate Chinese people that I am not an African, I am African American. I was like, you can check my channel. You see a video like that. You can check my channel. That is an email that I got from an African American, and I had to do that video for them, because just to educate Chinese people that when you go to America, there are black people living there who are having American passport. And let's say they are Americans. So Chinese people have to accept the fact that not every black person is coming from Africa. I did that video for them. But the thing is, like, I was getting a lot of emails, a lot of comments, and I felt like, no, we should stop separating because of history and let's all come together. We can do something beautiful when we love one another. Mm-hmm. You get it? You see the black community, coming together when we are being discriminated.
Right.
That is not how we should live our life. Like check when this thing happened. How do you call it? When H&M used the coolest monkey, all celebrities were posting on their on their social media platform about like this is racism or something. But can we use that energy, the same energy we use by posting this kind of post? Like, can we use the same energy to portray good things about black people? We shouldn't wait for us to be discriminated before we start like making a lot of noise or something. I know discrimination is really something that it will never stop, but we should try to do something more positive, spending more time on positive things than waiting to be discriminated before we start talking about it. Me, that is my only problem, and I just have to voice it out. We gotta try to be together. Together, we're gonna achieve a lot of things. That is my only thing that I want to say, Oshay.
No, that's a good point. Let me just say this, and I'll let Tony say it. I remember one night, right? And you guys, you don't mind me telling the story. If you do, then you just have to be mad. But me and Nee and Abraham, we went out to a club one night.
Okay.
And Nee is like not like a big guy or anything. He's like, slender guy. And it was me, Abraham, and myself. And so Abraham's from Ivory Coast, Nee is from Lagos, and I'm from California. Okay. There's some Polish guy because by the way, boy, Nee is he's from in Poland too with me. So there's some Polish guys saying some, basically calling us niggas, and Nee hears it. So Nee got like balls of like steel and shit. Nee goes, "Hey," in so many words, "this motherfucker's talking shit about us." So Nee, little guy, he walks over there, and he goes, and both the guys are bigger than him. He goes, "Hey, your friend just said the N-word." And I was like, "Oh, shit's going down." So I kind of scooted over there, and the dude like pushed Nee, and when he did, Nee grabbed that motherfucker by the throat. He had the motherfucker like this. And at that moment, I'm like, "All right, it's going down." So I went over there. Abraham was scary as shit or whatever. But at that point, I realized that you had three different types of blacks there. African American. Well, Abraham has a Ivorian passport, and bro, those people didn't look at us like he just said. They looked at us all as niggas. They wasn't looking like, "Oh, I didn't go over there. Wait a minute. These two motherfuckers over here. I'm African American, dog. Don't talk about them." When you're in like China or Poland, when they see you as black, they looking at fuck all of y'all is what they think. So what Wode Maya is saying is true, and I think like when me and Nee, when we're out together, and if some shit going down, we both fighting, and it's gonna be like we are both black, and that's how we have to look at each other. When we are out by ourselves or something like that, if some guys are gonna try something, we're both black. We don't look at it as, "Oh wait, nigga, you're from Nigeria, I'm from Africa." No, we both know that we all we got, right, Nee?
Absolutely. Thanks for bringing me on again. Like over the years, talking about Africans, and before I continue, Wode Maya, nice to meet you. I have also seen some of your videos. Oshay actually told me about it, I think, sometimes back, and I actually went to watch some of your videos. I've worked with some Chinese people before here in Poland and also in Nigeria. I've got lots of invitations to actually visit China, but I hope I'll be able to make it sometimes. So coming back to Africa and about Africans, I have a project which it's a pet project of mine, which I called Heritagery, the social reconstruction of African heritage. And I actually presented it at the Catholic University of Lublin in Poland last year at one of their events. So what I do practically is I try to get Africa's heritage, which is very, very diverse, and present it to people to at least know a little bit about Africa. Wow. And what I used to say is like, when we look at Africa now in this discussion, we're talking about a group of Africans out of Africa. And that's the African, we call them the African American. I would like to call them the Africans in America. And as they are in America, we have Africans all over the world. The Africans have even been a global people before the concept of globalization was formed. So we have Africans that left Africa prehistorically. We have Africans that left due to slavery. Before that time, we have Africans that left. Maybe they fought in some jihadi armies or some crusading armies. We have Africans in Europe. We have Africans in the Middle East. We have Africans in Asia. We have them in Australia. So we talked about one group of Africans that accepted that they are Africans, and those are the ones we call the Africans Americans. They're Africans in Asia. I have a teacher of mine who's also from California, Los Angeles, Dr. Runoko Rashidi, and Runoko has been even named as a leading African kind of researcher in India. He came up with a research that told us like Nigeria is not the most populated black country in the world. The most populated black country in the world today is India, because India has over 300 million people that are jet black. But do
Yeah.
these people see themselves as blacks? I have Indians in my class that are darker than me, but they can never connect themselves back to Africa because they don't see themselves as Africa. These are people that are they are really darker than me, but you dare call them Africa, then probably you want to start a fight. And that is still a later thing, which we are still going to come to. So when I refer to the Africans and Americans as a family, we could form a partnership. I've met
Okay.
people, I'll see Oshay and I'll say, oh, Oshay is my friend, or Oshay is my partner. Oh, from partner, we say, oh, Oshay is my family. Now, how do we define family? Do we is it blood related relations, or what kind of family is it? So we have started this discussion. We're going to start educating ourselves. It's going to take a
Okay.
long way, and everyone has to put something in it.
Exactly.
It's not just for the job, or it's not a job of the YouTubers only. The artist has to come on board. We have to develop creative ways in bringing this message out. And as I say, I would just like to conclude very quickly. Like, I would like to see African families all over the world with a strong base in Africa. I hate to say this, but I will keep saying it. Like, the Africans and Americans today would have a lot of problems, and the problems will not really go away until they connect back to Africa. I just feel the solution is in Africa. They need a strong base in Africa. This is one of the things I saw the movie Black Panther was trying to send out. It's like, well,
Exactly.
we could be in America, we could be elsewhere, but you need that strong base. I could call it a hub for Africans, the global Africans. The Africans can be in America, they could be in Europe, they could be in Asia, but they have that strong place that is called home in Africa. And when Africa is started having this power base, believe me or not, everyone will start associating themselves with Africa. And this movie has showed that. So if we have an African country that is very strong economically, militarily, you see the Africans in Asia, they'll be proud to say, yeah, I'm from Africa. The
Yeah.
ones in America also will claim it. So you just leave all those Africans that are at the moment denying their African connection, and leave them until we have something really, really going on in Africa that is really, really interesting, that is strong, and automatically you start seeing people connecting themselves back to Africa. It's natural. People just like things like that. It attracts people. But now the Africa we see is the Africa with with 3Ds, death, diseases, and something like that.
Yeah.
So, and that's what the media puts out. But when Africa comes on strong, I tell you, the African Americans will be the first to claim Africa as their own. I know that it's natural. So yeah,
Just let me say this real
yeah,
quick.
Oshay.
Shout out to Arain Knights for the $5 super chat. I wanted to say that. Dynasty Amir is also joining. Let me just do this. I know it's 12:36. Me and Nee are in Poland. So what we have right now is we have Edward and Super Sly. You must have know where you're going. We have Edward and LAR and Tony in the USA. We have Wode Maya in China, and we have Nee in Poland. And then Dynasty's going to come on. So let me just do this. Let me get to Tony real quick, and then we'll get to goddamn, this bitch keep calling me. Hold on. I'm sorry. Damn, I told her ass. Trying to get me caught up. All right, let's go to Tony real quick, and then we'll try to go, and then we'll try to get to Wode real quick because he's our special guest also because it's about him. So let's go to Tony real quick if we can.
We can all be passionate about personal slights and personal insults and slights. But at the end of the day, you got to get the objective accomplished.
Okay.
Conservatives and liberals talk about each other all the time, but they agree on one central authority. They agree on one central idea, and that's power. And if you're going to accomplish anything, it's going to have to be accomplished together. There's no the Negro manosphere. I heard the example used earlier. See, you can have all the money in the world that you want to put up, but if you don't have, you can have the best cart in the world, but if you don't have any horses to pull that cart, you ain't going nowhere. So the Negro manosphere, putting the money up is wonderful. But when you got someone like an Alan Roger Curry that is going to bring a certain amount of credibility to the table. Now, he may not have it in currency, but he got it in credibility. So does Donovan Sharp. So does the Need brother. Everybody brings something to the table. It's not one person doing it. Everybody is partnering up at the same time. That's what partnership means. Okay. It doesn't mean, oh, you go first and I go. No, if you're going to accomplish anything great, it's always accomplished with some type of team. And I think sometimes we get afraid. It's a fear of risk. It's a fear of loss. But if you're going to do anything,
kind of breaking up, Tony.
If you're going to do anything great, you're going to create any type of empire. No matter what it is. Can you hear me? Am I breaking up?
Yeah, it's kind of breaking up, Tony.
Breaking, yeah.
Oh, hell. Okay. If you're going to do anything worth anything, if you're going to do anything great, it's always going to be a partnership. It is never going to be you go first and then I go first. Okay. Everybody's going to have to go together. And that's my point. Okay.
Wode Maya, man, check WhatsApp real quick. We'll go to Eddie and LAR, but I want to let because Wode did show up to the African American beatdown today, so I'll try to give him. It was bad at first. It wasn't bad, but you know. So let's check your information. Check your. I just sent you a message on your WhatsApp real quick. So let's go to Edward, and let's go to LAR, and we want to give. I'm gonna try to give Wode a little bit of time to speak and kind of get interested because he is coming in pretty early in China. So let's go ahead, Edward. And then go to Edward and we'll go to LAR.
Should I? Okay.
I think he got it on mute, or do he?
Well, go ahead, LAR. Weigh in on whatever you want to weigh in on real quick. We're gonna let
It was funny because when Wode Maya was talking about black people running from him and kind of like shunning him, that's like our experience here with Africans. So it was like a weird kind of irony. So I think you get the gist of how there's an animosity. When I was just talking about the home thing, I just got to put on the table that everybody on this side with the Western Hemisphere who's black feels a connection towards Africa, but a lot of us don't call Africa home. Okay. And the thing about that is and that's because of how we're treated in our own space by other Africans who are from what you consider y'all home. So if they don't have open arms when they come here, we don't figure that there'll be open arms if we went there. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you can take this all the way from America to all the Caribbean islands. They rep their flag in their country. They all have love for Africa, but they don't consider Africa home. You get what I'm saying? So that is a bridge that has to be built with actual action, deeds, and trust. Because I don't think, it's not a hug it out, forgive and forget moment with people on this side. It's more like, you're gonna have to show me I should trust you.
Exactly.
So, and I'm saying this to be as honest as possible, but also respectful as possible. It comes off as arrogant because it's like if once you connect to Africa, all will be good, and it's like nah, all is not gonna be good until we actually have a trust for each other, and you can't skip over that part.
Okay.
So that's it.
Okay, let me just say this before Edward. One thing I want to say is this, right? It's funny. Nee mentioned the Indians, right? Like they don't think they're black, but it's the same thing we'll see. Like I think if you talk about like the Dominicans, and we all know this is a big problem with Dominican people. They could be as black as us, Cuban people, and it's obvious that they're black, and they're gonna tell us all day, I'm not black, I'm Dominican or I'm Cuban. You know what I mean? I think one thing that the Africans and African Americans, and even for that fact, like Haitians know, we all know that we are black. I think that's one thing I think the Africans and African Americans can both come to the table with. We are, for the most part, proud to be black, and we know that we are black. But Dominicans, who are sometimes just as black as we are, you made a good point, Nee, that these people don't even realize, like, oh, whoa, and we see them all the time. They're Indians dark as us. Like, we're not black. I'm Indian. Like, what are you talking about? Even though you had an Indian guy pretend to be black to get into medical school in the United States, like you said, LAR. Let's go to Eddie real quick, and then we're gonna let Wode, carry for a little bit.
Yeah, man.
Dinah's here. Go ahead.
Quick about it, because we got some really good brothers on here. And like I said, I was coming up third straight, but now that the starters are back, I'm gonna actually just stay behind for a second and see my time to Dynas and Wode.
Okay. Let's let Dynas say something real quick. And again, you guys know I know Dynas personally from the same city. And Dynas is all about Africa. Like, Dynas is a true hardcore Pan-Africanist. He'd have been over 10 African countries. What up, Dynas, man? Go ahead and bless us a little something before we go to Wode.
What's up, everybody? I'm glad we're having this. I'm glad we're having this dialogue. Thank you, Oshay, for giving us the platform to really chop it up about African and diaspora relations. I think it's important because at the end of the day, we're all one. That's how I feel. As far as me personally, I know everyone's, experience with Africans here in America have been different, and everybody's entitled to their opinion, or they're free to express their experience, and whether it be positive or negative. But with me personally, I tell African Americans, Black Americans to truly give a true, to really go in on as far as the experience, you have to go to Africa, because I've had nothing but love once I hit the continent, and then here as well. I haven't personally had any negative experiences with Africans here in America. They've all been very welcoming to me. So I'm just glad that we have all these brothers on this panel, and we're all on one stream, and we could chop it up.
All right, let's go ahead and let Wode Maya. Now, I'm trying to do something for Wode Maya from his African American brothers on the behalf of us, but I'm just trying to get it set up real quick. So, Wode, man, go ahead and tell us, a little bit. Just pretty much about yourself, as far as why you moved to China, what you're doing in China, and stuff like that for the brothers that are watching right now.
Okay. My name is Wode Maya, but Wode Maya is not my name, just the name of my channel. Like, my name is Kobe. Like in Ghana, they call me Kobe. Like, that's my name. So that's what I use. And I've been in China for the past 4 years. And actually, I started YouTube just as a form of like trying to have fun, trying to enjoy my life here in China. As you check on my channel, most of them are with the Chinese girls, and also like Black brothers around me. But later, I just found out that like here in China, like actually I talked to my dad, and my dad was like, you need to stop this kind of stupid videos that you've been doing. So you better like try to send a message across, or else I'm not going to take care of you again. So I was like, okay, so what do you want me to do? Like, and he said, like, just use your own personal life experience in China and just do something. So I realized that here in China, a lot of people don't know anything about Africa, don't know anything about Black people. Like, I remember the first day that I came in contact with a Chinese person, like a Chinese girl, she was like, oh, I heard that Black people, can kill. Black people can kill. Like, she started running. Like, a lot of misconception about Black people here in China, specifically Black people and Chinese people, like Africans here in China. So I decided to like use my channel to start preaching about Africa here in China. And when I started using my father's idea, I started realizing that my videos are going viral here in China. And even Chinese people, they don't know who I am. Like, I've been seeing my videos on TV, on Chinese TV stations, but they don't know who I am because I'm trying to hide my identity here in China. Because, China is not a democratic country. It's like autocratic. So sometimes when you do certain things, like they try to come for you. You get it? So I have a lot of videos on Chinese social media apart from YouTube, but I don't show it myself. Like, I don't use my own personal account. And it has been my videos are helping a lot of people right now here in China, because most of them, if you say anything bad about black people, some of them show them my videos. This is, if you say, because sometimes I travel to Africa, like I take like money from YouTube, the money that I make on YouTube, I book my own flight, go to Africa just to make videos and come back to China, just to clear misconception about Mother Africa. Sometimes it's really difficult to get support from, even like the last time I wanted to buy drone for a shot in Africa, like I asked my fellow brothers, like, hey, can you guys help me out? I want to go to Africa. Like I couldn't even get any response, but I had to use my monthly YouTube pay, go to Africa, go to Ghana, just go make some videos. I spent 2 weeks in Ghana and came back because I realized that my videos were making effect here in China. And I love clearing misconception. That's what I love doing, because a lot of people, my videos have been helping a lot of people. Even yesterday, I went outside, somebody saw me and he was like, I heard that Africa is hot. That's why you guys are so black. You know, so every black person is black because Africa is hot. And they think that all of us come from Africa. But I have a video of Chinese people in Africa saying that China is hotter than Africa. You get it? So like when they see videos like that, oh, so this is how it is. So I enjoy doing such videos. But sometimes, you know, when I hear any controversial topic or something, I just want to voice out my opinion. That's why I did that video, because it was getting out of hands. And I know most of my black brothers here in China are telling me that they are sorry after this video. After this video.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Wode. I want to ask you a question, because I know, like, Nee is Nigerian, right? And I know in Europe, and even like I went to Uganda, Nigerians tend to have somewhat of a bad reputation. I know you're from Ghana. I know Nee's been to Ghana before. Have you been to Nigeria before?
I've been to Nigeria before.
Okay. Do Nigerians have a bad reputation in China? No. Is that what you think? Or
like
it's globally?
That is what a lot of people say. Okay, that is what a lot of people say. But personally, I would say I have a lot of Nigerian brothers. But when you go to a city called Guangzhou, they really have a very bad reputation over there. I'm not saying this just to make Nigerians look back. But when you go to, even I've come in encounter with Nigerians that if I didn't run for my life, I'd have been in trouble. You get it? But it's not like everybody. You get it? It's just some few people who are trying to do that to make Nigeria look bad. Because when you go to Guangzhou, it's really serious. And when you go to Guangzhou, there are people who are separating themselves even from Nigeria, but they are Nigerians. You get it? Like when you go to, you meet people, he said they call Biafra. You can check one of my videos. I interviewed one Nigerian guy and he said, don't call me Nigerian, call me Biafra. You see, because of some things that some Nigerians are doing in that city called Guangzhou. But it's not everybody. You get it? It's not everybody, but most of them really have the bad reputation over here. But when you come, like most programs, Ghana and Nigeria, we are one. We only fight about food. That's the only thing Ghana and Nigeria fight about. Yeah.
But let me do this. Oh, Wode Maya, check your WhatsApp, okay? Real quick. I just sent you something there. Dias, what you eating?
Jollof? Some salad. I had jollof yesterday.
How you gonna be on here eating healthy, nigga? What's wrong with you?
Healthy today. I had jollof yesterday.
Nah, dog, this is African American podcast, nigga. You ain't eating no barbecue. You can't get your ass kicked about this, nigga.
What part of Ghana are you from?
I'm from Takoradi, like the oil city. Takoradi, secondly Takoradi, the western region.
Okay, I was just in Ghana in December, so I'll be back in December too.
Yeah, I'm planning to move there, like maybe for holidays or something, maybe this summer.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Ghana's beautiful. I'm trying to get Oshay to go to either Ghana or Kenya.
He told me that
some of that flat top for my hairline, niggas. I'm struggling right now with this. But let me ask you this though, Dinas. I mean, because as a okay, Dinas, you're the one that got me, because before me and you hooked up, my commentary about Africans was
Africans ain't shit.
It was bad. Like I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm one of those African Americans where I'm very, 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 very proud to be an African American. And if I have the opportunity to push, like, and Nee knows this about me, I'm very passionate about being African American. I'm very, very passionate. I'm very if African American was a country, which is not, but I would be very nationalistic. But you got me to. It wasn't Nee that got me to go to Africa. Now Nee taught me a lot about the Benin Kingdom. He taught me a lot about the Yoruba Kingdom and the kingdom. The king of Lagos was the king of Benin, or the king of Benin was the king of Lagos. I mean, something like that. Nee taught me a lot of stuff I didn't know. But it was actually you that got me to pull the trigger to get my yellow fever card and go to Africa. So I guess what I want to know from you, Dynas, as an African American, what made? I mean, I know what made you want to go, but why are you so drawn to Africa, and why are you so interested in getting more blacks to go to Africa?
I think for me, the first time I went, it's just the number one, the weather, the cost of living, the people. I mean, I wasn't in the so-called rat race. I think me personally, if you could survive in America, or you can make it in Africa, in my honest opinion, easily if you have that same drive. But for me, it's just I felt at home, man. Like I really felt at home. And this isn't I'm not romanticizing, even though I'm accused of that, romanticizing Africa. But I felt at home. And then also too, just the way society is going or turning here in America. I mean, as far as just the schools, as far as having safe spaces for your kids. I mean, you got to think about it. Here where I'm at in Atlanta, and it's weird. Like kids don't play outside anymore. Like that shit is just odd to me. Like you don't see kids playing football in the streets, but when I'm in Africa, kids are kicking around the soccer balls, they're running around in the streets. I just feel like a place like Africa, my son, he could actually be a kid. Everybody's a family. Everybody's tight knit. You can lay down a law. So somebody violation in any type of way, you could really beat their ass. There's a culture. I just think, I'm very African American as well, but I think the three things that were lacking here as a black community here in America is number one, a code of conduct. What I noticed, Africans have a code of conduct. Culture. Definitely have a culture, and then the drug issues. I just think those three things are what is killing the Black America community, and it's hard to really change it because you have so many outside forces that are going to get you versus in Africa where everybody's on pretty much on the same page. Now we have issues. They have issues. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm in Ghana, there's pictures of white Jesus everywhere. That shit really bothered me. All the white Jesus pimping pastor. In Ghana, those billboards. But for the most part, there's still. I just think Africa is a safe space for Black American men, away from racism. Again, the cost of living, and you can still live a very good life in Africa. You raise your children. The women are beautiful and they're submissive. They're very feminine. It's a lot. I could go on and on all day.
Let me say this real quick. And it's a lot of ass too, by the way. I think here's the thing. Y'all know how I asked Wode the other day. I said, "Man, am I gonna see a lot of big asses?" He's like, "You're going to see big asses." I was like, "Yes." That's what I want to say. What you just said is like the culture. Like, okay, if you steal something, I know that for a fact. If somebody yells thief, you don't get fucked up over there.
Exactly. Oh, you're
gonna get fucked up. That's in Uganda and Ghana. If you yell thief in the hood, you're gonna have niggas with the phones trying to record it or be getting your ass whipped. World star hip hop and shit.
Right.
I mean, like in Africa, I hate to say this, but I can beat the fuck out of my kids.
Right.
Like what you say? Wait till we get back to Nigeria. I will beat the shit out of you, and if the police come, I will pay the motherfuckers off. Like,
but that would have become like it won't even go that far.
Here's the thing I wanted to say also that was good. Like I was in Uganda, we were going to Jinja last month, and there were some police, and the police flagged us down. And there was a side of the road, so we pulled over. And I was like, man, what the fuck did you do? Talking to my driver. And they got in the car like, look, we just need a ride. I mean, this is Africa though. Like the police, they just wanted a ride, man. Like, it was cool. It's like, all right, thank you. It's so much easier. Like you can actually be a man in Africa. You know, as much as we want to talk about America, we don't own these streets. If you want to clean up your neighborhood, the white man tells you how to clean up a neighborhood. Nigga, this is my neighborhood. Like Neely Fuller said, this ain't your neighborhood, motherfucker. I think Tony Maceo said that he's writing a book, How to Take Over Your Neighborhood, because you never really had your neighborhood. You can't, I hate to say that. All this homosexuality shit.
Nah, not going down. Not going down.
I'm not. I mean, I was talking to Nee about that today in Poland. In Poland, you don't even see that shit a lot. But in Africa, if you see it, it's going to be. Now, I did see it a little bit in Uganda, but it was kind of very subtle. But you have a lot more control over your
life.
Yeah, you don't have no control. You know, in America, you can't. You know, anything you can say is feminist or Me Too or child support or
nope.
You have like 40 fucking kids in Africa. You ain't never gonna get child support ever. I mean, don't go over there and do that, but so I want to be able to whoop my kids' ass. So for that reason alone, because my kids gonna be fucked up. I know. I'm gonna have to fuck them up. Let me just. Who else on the panel has something to say before? I'll stay on for a few more minutes, but anybody want to weigh in on something?
Just 1 minute. Hey, just 1 minute of what he just said, like beating your kid. In Africa, it's just like a culture, you know. You gotta, like in Africa, the beating is just like a culture. You gotta accept it. You gotta beat you, and that thing will make you sit upright. You get it?
Well, shit. I mean, African Americans believe in beating ass too. Don't get it. Shit, don't get it twisted. You get your ass whipped by African Americans. We whip ass too,
guys.
Yo,
let me see this. Anybody? Let's see. LAR, you want to weigh in on something?
I was thinking about what y'all was just saying.
Okay.
So in a sense, Africa is like growing up with your grandparents back when you was a kid. You know, because we used to go outside, play, kick in the streets. That era, you could check what's going on in the community. If somebody did something, either somebody's gonna catch them, or you know the family is gonna come together and they was gonna straighten it all out. If that's the case, shit, I'm gonna go eventually. But I will say this: I think there's a underlying feeling of betrayal that keeps people from connecting. I think that in America, America's original sin is slavery, right? That's what they say.
Right.
But I think us as Black Americans, the original sin seems to be getting sold out too. So it's this, I don't necessarily want to make the first step to go reach out to them. You get what I mean?
And that's fair, LAR movement. That's fair. But honestly, I just think the pros of reaching out are, you know, outweigh the negatives of, and don't get me wrong, I'm not minimalizing slavery, but I just think the pros are just too high. I just think the pros outweigh the cons of reaching out. But trust me, dude, I completely understand. Like you have a valid point, absolutely. But I just think, honestly, like Black men in America are selling themselves short by not just going and visiting just once. And then, you know, once you actually touch ground and spend a couple of weeks there, then, you know, I would say go ahead and form your opinion. Because right now, until you actually experience the continent, I'm trying to figure out the correct way to say this. I just think you're not really in a correct position to really speak on. It's not. I'm trying to think of the right way to say it.
Give me 1 second, Dennis, because I'm going somewhere with this.
Okay, go ahead. But I'm just saying, it's just I don't think you're as credible.
We're going to go to Neil real quick because it's late for him. So go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
Go ahead. LARMOVEMENT. I'm done.
All like that, all being valid, and that all being true, and if people want to do it, that's all good. I think because of that ideology, that /fear/distrust. On the other end, I think it would do us a service if Africans in America come experience us as we are, and it'll make us more comfortable to go there. Because I ain't never whipped the African ass in spades or dominoes since they've been here.
Well, let me say this real quick, because it is late, and here's the thing. I want to shout out to B Money, right? So again, Wode, thank you, Wode. So B Money, my longest subscriber, he hated me for a minute, but excellent commentary from all the brothers. I'm working on going to Ghana later this year or next year. So I dropped Wode a little something on behalf of us African American brothers, man. Just let them know we want to support him.
Thanks,
And everything.
I really
like
appreciate that. I've already received it, and just want to say thank you.
Did you receive it to your email?
Yeah, I've already received it. Yeah,
okay.
I got a notification right now.
Okay,
verifying I received it.
I want to say something to the Knee, right? And shout out to Knee's also for. I mean, I don't know if you mind me saying this, but Knee is the he runs the Nigerian embassy's website here in Poland for Nigeria.
Wow.
So yeah, so I don't fuck with no bullshit ass motherfuckers. I want you to know, I might not be shit, but the people that I fuck with got some shit going. Everybody. So I'm gonna let you know that right now. I don't fuck with no bullshit ass niggas. What I want to ask Nee is this, because Nee, what do you think that, I mean, because like we have like the Negro Manosphere, and we have certain things like we're trying to do. What can you do? I mean, with your connections in Nigeria and what and Black Americans, what can Black Americans start to do to understand the opportunities on the continent that they can experience to better go to Africa? I'm gonna ask you that, Nee, and I'm gonna ask you that, Wode Maya, you're both from Ghana and Nigeria. What do you think that we can do as African Americans to want to get onto the continent and kind of test our waters there? What would you suggest?
Oh, I thank you for bringing me up again. I hope I'm still clear and audible enough. I'm not going to sleep now because my eyes are shutting down, but I'm still fine. So, looking at that very quickly, I have seen like when it comes to Nigeria, the music industry is really, really very huge now. And looking at top hip hop artists that has been to Nigeria, they've been like amazed, like, wow, this is in Nigeria. So I'm thinking of people like Snoop Dogg, Chris Brown, and the likes, even 50 Cent. So this is a particular area I think the African Americans really need to look really into. And when we leave that particular aspect of music, we talk about Nollywood. We talk about Nollywood and Nollywood film. I've also been opportune to work with people that produce film in Nigeria. So I was talking sometimes back with Dapo Adeni. So Dapo Adeni produced the film Ake. That is, Ake is actually about the childhood of Professor Wole Soyinka. And Wole Soyinka, by the way, is the first Nobel Prize winner from Africa. And the film Ake has not yet been screened. It's going to be screened sometimes this year. I don't know about it. I actually created the website for Ake film also. So, so about music and film, I think this is something if the African American community could tap into. It is just like a cash cow that is waiting to be. It's still a virgin territory. Looking at how big Nollywood is today, so I think those two aspects for now. There are lots more I might still talk about, but I think those are the ones that I can think of right now. So I think these areas are things Africans, Americans, Africans in America could look into in Nigeria. And also, when you look into sport sport is also like it's still there. Things like boxing. You know, I grew up in the hood in Lagos, man. Everyone learns how to fight. When it comes to boxing, I have a lot of my friends and people I know that are even into boxing now, that box. And when you look at football, you know, it's just when I keep thinking about it, different things keep coming up. I have a master's in information technology. So when I came to Poland, you know this story, Oshay. The website of the Nigerian embassy was just not working. When people visit the website of the Nigerian embassy, you might visit and your phone will crash. Your computer can crash just by trying to check information from the Embassy of Nigeria's website. So I wrote to them, I said, well, this thing is not working out. How can you guys fix it? But no one answered me. So I actually said, okay, I'm going to keep writing to you every month until you guys do something about it. I'm not going to stop. So I wrote to them and I keep copying other people. And later they called me up like, this guy, your problem is too much. What can we do about it? And I'm like, all right, this is what you can do and this and that. And that's how I came in. And I think for African Americans in America, they also have what I call the eagle eye view. They can see a lot of things in Africa the Africans can't see at all. Mm-hmm. So if there are things they could chip in, like, all right, this is what we want to do. Is there any other thing that you guys can fit in? And a lot of things that's how things work. We've seen dance. I was watching a Beyonce music video, and the dance was actually found from some guys that were actually making this dance just right somewhere in Africa, and they tapped into that and made it a kind of a global sensation. And there are lots and lots of things like that all over Africa, not only Nigeria. I traveled in the coast of West Africa, and when I was just like out of my city, just 10 minutes out of Nigeria, in the Benin Republic, I was like, whoa, I'm in a totally different place, a totally different territory. And I was actually learning a lot, and the people I met there, also I was chipping in one or two things like, oh, this is what I think you should do in this, and oh, you don't have this in Nigeria, this is how we'll do this. And when we keep talking, when the discussion starts, a lot of things start, it's like a puzzle, everything start taking shape. But the discussion has to start first. So for the African Americans, for now, I would say movie and music. I'll go for the two ends now. Movie and music is something we can look big into. Okay, Oshay?
You still you going to bed right now, or?
I can still be up for the next 10, 15
Okay, we won't keep you guys long. I just want to say this real quick before we go to Wode, and then we'll come to everybody else. You know, Nee sold me on creating a Negro Manosphere site, because he was like, I was like, how much do you know how much do you want for the website to do it? And he said this price. It was actually, I think, a little bit more expensive than what I wanted to pay. I was like, well, man, I can get it from this place, but he was like, but they're not going to maintain it for you. And that's been an opportunity. Like, you know, one thing about like Nee, he's very proactive. Like, he got his position in with the Nigerian embassy in Poland for being proactive, and the Negro Manosphere, you know, we're able to at least pay him part-time now as another income, because he's proactive with me. And I think like that's what, like, African Americans, we got to kind of understand also, like, a lot of Africans, when they have success, like Wode Maya, and I'm sure you're gonna tell us this, you know, when you're a Black person living overseas, and Wode, me and Nee, we're all living in a place that's not our home. You know, Nee's from Nigeria, Wode's from Ghana, I'm from America, and all of us are making it outside of in a foreign land for the fact that we are very proactive. We know that we have to make it. We know that we have to do certain things. And I think, you know, the way that we're able to do this in a foreign country is the same way I think that African Americans must look at it in Africa. You know, we have to take that same attitude to that market. And let me just talk to you about what I mean. Like when you came to China, man, did you think that you would be as successful as you are right now?
No, not at all. Because like I just came here to study, and when you're coming from a country like Ghana, like when you get out, your parents are gonna tell you that you came for your books, just focus on the books and finish whatever you want to do. But what I've achieved so far here in China is something beautiful and great. Like I never even expect myself to, achieve something like that. And a lot of people here in China look up to me, and I think that it's really a good thing. It's really a good thing to start something like this. And I don't think I never had an idea that I'm gonna be like this when I come to China. It's all about the hard work, work a lot just to achieve the set target. That is the most important thing. Just have a common goal, one goal, something that you want to achieve, and you just move and work towards it. But the thing is, even coming from Africa, living in China, there are a lot of things. If you don't take care, I don't want to use this word. Like in China, if you want to make it on this social media, one thing that they love is you have to be stupid, you have to be an idiot on the Chinese. Yeah, you have to be stupid before you make it. So even I wanted to make a video about it, but later I realized that no, this is what a lot of people are using to survive. So I gotta because me, I love things like that. Because when you come to China, you see a lot of Africans, who are even making the black people here in China look bad. But everybody is scared to talk about it. Like you see that an African making funny jokes on TV just to make a black man looks bad, because already there is the misconception about black people. You get it? But they go on TV just to say more about a misconception, and this is what they think. Because in China, if you tell the truth, they're not gonna love you. They're not gonna like you. So you have to be stupid, just make the money and get out. There are a lot of videos about black people here in China, and I think I would say that my video is the only exceptional, because even me, I got a Chinese person who contacted me that we're gonna give you a 10,000 Ghana's 10,000 Chinese yuan just to make the black community look bad. Because I have if I wanted to be famous in China, it's gonna be easy for me because I know what Chinese people like. I know what they want to see to be happy. If I wanted to be more bigger than how I am right now, I got the tricks. But I'm not interested because I don't want to look stupid. You get it? That is why I just let it go. But one thing is you don't have to follow the crowd. You don't have to do what a lot of people are doing. You just have to be unique, and being unique, it's gonna take some time, but it's worth it.
Okay, let me just say this real quick, guys. I won't keep you guys up. No, this is 1:16. I know it's late for me. I'll probably be on about another 10 minutes, like that. I just want to say I'm very happy that we were able to get all of these talented guys. I'll stay on for 2 more minutes. All of these brothers from across. And I still got my response video coming too. You ain't off the hook yet, Wode, but I'm just letting you know. We still putting that hit piece on you.
Yeah.
It's coming too, dog. It's coming. Don't worry about that. It's coming. But I'm really excited about this because this is something that a lot of African Americans and Africans, I think, we need to do. And Wode, just real quick before we go to the next person, you have this project, man. I told Dinus about. I know Dinus. He reached out to you today. You recognize him, right? This guy.
Yeah, I saw him, and I was like, yeah, I know him. Yeah. I just talked to him yesterday.
Because you told me that some African Americans are reaching out to you, and I didn't know that he was one of them. So
yeah, a lot. I'm reading a lot of so far, I got over 10 emails from African Americans. They really support the idea. So, which means that I said something good, because the kind of comment that I was getting, oh my god, I didn't even read most of them. But come on, I don't really care, because I'm getting a lot of emails from them. They are supporting the movement, And I'm happy about it. And I'll just reply their message as soon as I finish this call. Then we'll pick
Let me
up
ask
from
you this
there.
though. Well, as far as the this project, because you know, I told Dynas about it before he probably reached out to you, but what are you looking to do for May, and what is it that, you know, us in the diaspora, because you know I've been to Africa. Dynas has a ton of footage in Africa. He has more than damn near I think anybody I know. He probably has even more than you. Um, let me ask you this: what are you looking for? What do you want? How can we make this project successful? You know, I know you're a very busy person. You're doing a lot of different things.
Yeah.
What is it that
So,
we can do to make it successsul, and how can we help?
Good. The thing I'm doing right now, I was really happy when what his name, like is it Dynasty? When he contacted me, because somebody introduced him to me. So I went to check his channel, but I was supposed to go to work. So I checked the channel, and I just said, okay, I'm gonna contact. Immediately I came back home, I saw his email. I was like, wow. You know, so one thing I want to do is like try to bring all YouTubers, like Black YouTubers, African YouTubers, like African American YouTubers, and also African YouTubers. We're trying to do something like for Africa. You get it? One first thing is like people who know a lot about African history are gonna teach some of us the history of Africa, and also people who like I want to get like African YouTubers in Africa to give us like good shots in Africa, like very beautiful places, because most of the times whatever you see on the media is like African kids drinking water from the river banks, of which like that is not the real Africa. It exists, but not everyone drinks from the river bank. So what I'm trying to do is like we're gonna give a positive message about Mother Africa, and it's gonna be 30 days. Every day we're gonna upload a new video. So one thing I'm trying to do is to try to contact at least 30 YouTubers who are ready to join hands with me, and let's do this. Already I've gotten like almost getting 10 already. So even if you're not a YouTuber and you're ready to support this movement, I'm down with it. If you're ready to support this movement, because we need to come together. I have only one message. Whether you're from Africa, whether you Black African, you're African American, the Caribbean, wherever you're coming from, if your skin color look like me, we gotta be together. We shouldn't wait for us to be discriminated. That is my message, because the way when you come to China, the way Black people come together, no matter being African, no matter being African American, they come together when maybe we are being discriminated. You see this guy, what's his name? Johnson. Is it Umar Johnson or something? Umar Johnson. Like, yeah, one of his videos went viral about him talking about discrimination in China. But he was sitting on radio talking. But I can't agree with him. But the thing is like, why don't he use that energy? You know, why don't you use that energy that he has been using on, you know, on various radio platforms to preach something about, you know, where he's coming from or something? But we shouldn't wait for us to be discriminated before you start talking. He came to China recently, and before you go to his show or something, you gotta pay. And I saw the amount that they are paying. That is really ridiculous.
How much was the amount?
It was too much. Like it was like 500 RMB as a gate fee, almost $100 to go and listen to Dr. To go and listen to Dr. Umar. Like, you know, people are making money out of something that we have to, like, it's not necessary. I would use that word.
Go?
I didn't go. I saw a lot of people send me, oh, go meet Umar. What am I gonna meet him for? Like, I would love to meet him, but I'm not gonna meet him just because of that, because I don't support that kind of ideas. If you are, you need to let a Black man know that we are one. You get it? We are one. Enough of the complaints. When we become one, we are discriminated. Why is it that we cannot become one to do something good, to do something positive? Because I've seen Oshay's video like all the times. He's trying to say good things about, you know, that is what I'm looking for. You know, that is what I'm looking for. Enough of the complaints, and let's come together as one. So this project is all about like bringing the two community together, and also most of them that I talk to, trust me, most of them I talk to think that Africa is poor, and he has been living in America all his life, and he doesn't think that he belongs to a poor continent. To get it. So like, I just want to put a message across that Africa is not as poor as you think. That's why I'm bringing this.
Let me ask you this. Somebody
yeah.
wants to know about the blackface. Maurice wants to know about the blackface in China that the Chinese do. How do you feel about that blackface thing?
For me personally, when I saw it, I was really angry. You get it? I was really angry because that's why, like I said, like a lot, you have to look stupid before you make money. Even the girl who acted in that how do you call it, that program, I contacted her, and she's like a queen. They treat her like a queen, but they make her look stupid on stage. And I've been seeing a lot of her videos. She does a lot of videos here in China, and the thing is, like, Chinese people will give you money. You get it? They'll give you money, and the money they give you, it's ridiculous. I told you that I do like a live streaming, and I earn $6,000 in a month. I never, it's ridiculous. Like, just sitting down, just like this, talking this video call that I'm doing. But I'll just talk to the crowd in Chinese, and at the end of the month, you earn your money. You get so a lot of people are doing like almost a lot of stuff just to earn the money, but they don't know that they are bringing like it's bringing a bad effect to the black community. You get it? And that is my problem. The blackface was really offensive. Loser Lawai, Loser Lawai talked to me.
Yeah,
I talked to Loser Lawai. Loser Lawai, I'm not American. I'm from Africa. So maybe I might not say the blackface is offensive to me because I don't have anything related to the slavery. So Loser Lawai picked this matter and just kill it for me. And the guy killed it, like, and he got a lot of attacks. Oh my God, like a lot of people were even replying his videos, and now he deleted the channel because of that, because he got a lot of hate. But I just like, when I'm making a video, I just make sure I do positive and negative because Chinese people lose a lot. Why sometimes he loses it, like he just, he out of frustration because he has been in here for long and he has a lot of hate. I don't know. But me, I don't care about so many things because, like, we just have to give them what they want in a positive way, and they will gonna take it.
Okay.
I know a lot of messages. It's changing a lot of people, so I'm happy about it. I don't go straight to the point, but I just like pick here, blame both sides, make it work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm gonna do. And shout out to everybody. Look, it's 1:25 in the morning. It's me and Nee, we're in the same city. It's just like, man, it's crazy. I know Dynast in real life. We from the same city in the United States, and me and Nee in the same city in Poland. Me and LAR Movement got the same
hairline.
Hairline. We ain't got no hair. Me and Tony Macy got the same preaching style of a voice. That cadence. So I'm gonna let everybody, man. That was a great hangout, man. Hopefully, I know me and Dynast want to both be able to interview Wode, the Wode Maya channel, one-on-one at some point, and hopefully, I know you're coming on. You can go to Dynast, and then after that, whenever you can. But brother, I just want to let you know, as a person, I love your channel. I'm gonna kick your ass in this. But this rebuttal video, so it's gonna come. It's coming. I mean, I'm a big fan of your channel, man. I really do love what you're doing. I love how you have a lot of energy. You're hilarious. The Afro beats thing you have with the Chinese girl that was dancing. Y'all gotta check that video out where they had the Chinese girl dancing like Afro beats. She was good, dog. And Wode Maya out there, he was. So it's just fun, man. You have a very fun channel, bro, and I'm one of your Patreons, so definitely, man. You have a great
lot of support on that.
I was telling Nee, I said, man, we need to start doing some shit that Wode Maya's doing. So maybe me and Nee, like, doing some of the same different. So thank you, man. Let's go ahead, Dynast.
Can I say something? Yeah, can I say something? Like, I just want to say, like, it's all about love, because I'm getting a lot of backlash on that video, and I just want to say that if I said anything offensive in that video, it's just out of frustration and something like that, and I had to say what, because the thing has been bothering me for so long. So I'm really sorry if I said anything to offend any brother out there. It's just about love, man. Peace. Yeah.
Okay, so people ask me where's his channel. Okay, but before we go, guys, that's Wode Maya's channel right there. Mr. Ghana Baby is there in the chat. So click on it, hit the bell. Everybody, click on it, hit the bell. You will not be mistaken. Let me go ahead and just read the super chat off real quick. The brother donated Urban Nomad $4.04. Thank you, Brian Tim. Let me read Brian Tim's question. He wanted to know from Dynas. I think he already answered Dynas, but Dynas, how many African countries have you been to, and can you name them right now?
I already answered, but I've been to 10.
Can you try to name them?
Kenya, Tanzania, Namibia, South Africa, Mali, Senegal, Benin,
Togo.
Ghana, Togo. I think I'm missing one.
Ghana.
Ghana. Yeah, I've been to 10 though.
10. Okay. Where can they find you at, man?
Search for Uhuru. Search for Uhuru on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook, and YouTube. Also go to dynasamir.com. Go to searchforuhuru.com, and then also go to amazon.com. Search your name, Dynasamir. Please buy a book. But appreciate you brothers, all the brothers in the chat, and also all the brothers on the stream. And the brother in Poland. I'm going to Nigeria in August, and I want to meet the Oba of Benin.
The
City.
Oba of Benin.
And yes, in the Oba of Il Ife, in Il Ife.
Ife of Benin.
Yeah, the Oba of Benin City, and then in Il Ife.
All right. For the Oba of Benin, I don't know. I haven't met both of them, but I think I have close people that know them. So I'll link you up with someone that I know for sure in Benin, because I have lived in Benin before myself. And but for the Oba of Ife, I'll just check a few contacts of mine.
Okay.
I will let you.
Yeah, I'm going to
I'll give you his number too. I'll give you his number down, so he'll call you.
Perfect.
Okay. See, that's the good thing about coming on here. I hook brothers up. All right. And you know, the master, he's the most popular guy that's not a YouTuber. That's Edward Anderson. Everybody knows Edward's in the manosphere, but he needs to start his own YouTube channel. Edward, man, where can they find you at, brother?
Hey man, y'all, first of all, I appreciate being on all these brothers, man. You know, I keep it real, but I'm kind of the dude talking a lot of shit in the background. So anyway, you can find me in the comment section. But as far as my YouTube channel, I am kind of pseudo under construction, starting a YouTube channel with my own like personal opinions about the stuff. I've already had a couple of hangouts. It's been fairly successful. So just type in Edward Anderson on the in the search description, and it'll pull up. It'll be the Morpheus looking face, and then definitely sub to me. I got like 430 subs, looking to pop over 500, and add my stuff. Yeah,
damn, but I didn't even put up videos.
And that was all up me running my mouth in the comment section too, man. And then
this nigga about to hit 1 million subscribers without posting the video.
Yeah. Also, you can find me in the Negro Manosphere forum. Like, I definitely plan on friending all of y'all in the forum to network, and make sure you join that forum, man. We need to get that over like 1,000, because that's going to be like the bat cave where we crowdsource a lot of information in there, a lot of actionable information. Like, people talk about we need to travel to Africa. Only 5% of African Americans have passports. That's really 3% if you take out the military and African immigrants. I've estimated there's about 650,000 non-military, true blue African American adults, male adults that have passports. That's how few it is. So what I want to do is add some actionable information as to how to help brothers travel more, to kind of bridge some of the gaps, the financial issues and other that. So anyway, that's the type of stuff I'll talk about with my channel, and that'll be in the forum as well. So Edward Anderson in YouTube and on Facebook. If you type that in, I'll pop up too. And I talk hella shit on Facebook as well. They haven't put me in jail yet.
Okay. Yep. Let me just do this real quick before we do that. And shout out to Edward Anderson for the forum. Shout out to Nee for building the forum, right? He worked really hard on that. And so so guys, that's the forum. Before we get off the stream, click on the forum link. Wode Maya, he says, Wode Maya, I'm gonna come visit you. Maurice, Niyu, Mayu, Yige, Zunku, Nurin. Maybe that's wrong. It's probably bad. What does that mean?
Let me check. Morris is a subscriber of mine. Like he has been subscribing to my channel for a long time. Yeah. Is he
He's my
speaking Chinese
moderator
or
here.
something? Let me check.
Yeah, it's in the
Give him a
chat.
Chinese
It's in the
piece, I
chat.
know. Yeah, I'm checking it. Like,
okay, and while you're doing it, let me just say this real quick. Just real quick, Wode. We're gonna have we have the Negro Manosphere Awards, and then we're gonna have the Moderator Awards next month. I'm gonna get with Wode Maya. We're gonna try to do the Negro Manosphere Africa Awards, right? So we're gonna try to like build while he's doing this in May. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to do. Hopefully, we can pull it off where we can have like African because I have a site called the Negro Manosphere, right? Wode and right now we're having an award show right now. And what I want to do is if we can kind of collaborate on some prizes for some African YouTubers, like best dance group, all that kind of stuff, and we'll make it very fun.
Yeah.
And that'll be, in need. We'll work together and put that together like sometime in a few months. So guys, we're gonna
awesome.
we're gonna try to make it cool. So let me just do this. Let me go to LAR Movement. LAR, where can they find you at, player?
Today, hating on Diners, talking about Roll Tide. This LAR Movement on YouTube. You did it again, dog. You always do it, Oshay. So thanks for having me.
All right.
Appreciate everybody on the panel.
Yeah, and we're gonna come back tomorrow. I wasn't gonna give y'all a show tonight, but me and LAR was Wode had us pissed off as African Americans, so we had to come back with it. But
I still haven't heard I still haven't heard Wode's show, but go ahead.
Oh, it got like 20. How many views you got right now? What, like 20,000 views? How many? Let's see his video about. It's 22,000 views right now. So shit.
Yeah, but they're really coming for me. They're really coming for me.
You got us hot. You got us hot.
Then African Americans, when they get offended, they're gonna come.
Yeah, and
shout out to my bro Truth Teller, man. Truth Teller 410. Let me make him a moderator.
We should put that energy in so many things. Put that energy in so many. That is my problem. Okay. That's my problem, man. I love it. Like,
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Wode.
Like, I just want to say that, like, I've been reading the comments, I've been seeing everybody's comment, but please, like, don't get offended, like, because this is people are saying I'm making things up. Like, even in the comment section, you can see that I'm not making things up. This is what people are really saying, because even in the comment section, try to read the comment section. There are people in there who are saying that don't call me African. But people are saying that I'm making things up. Just read a comment. Take some time. Before you comment, take some time to read a comment. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's not like trolls. It's real. There are a lot of people who are saying that they don't belong. They don't have any African descent. And here in China, this is how it is. I'm not trying to make things up. I'm just being real. I'm just speaking my mind. And a lot of Africans know what I'm talking about. I don't know what is happening in America because I have never been there. But I'm talking about my own experience as a black man living in China, as an African living in China. They don't see you as an African American. They don't see me as an African. They call us a black man. That is here, So that is what I'm trying to say. We should not let history separate us. That's why I define Wakanda. People are saying Wakanda is not real. I know Wakanda is not real, but the sign that they do, that Wakanda forever, that is what I'm trying to talk about. They're trying to put us together. It's about time we need to stop this division and see a brother from a different continent who grew up on different continents, like as one. That is my main aim. I don't want to bring division. Some of them are even saying that I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just trying to, I've got a lot of experience. That's what I'm saying, that like when you get opportunity, please try to travel, try to live like America and experience the life out of America. You will know what I'm talking about. Because you live in America and you see that this is white people, this is African American and stuff like that. So you don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm sorry if I offended anybody. That's what I want to say. I'm sorry if I offended anybody, but I just had to voice it out. And that is my opinion. So please forgive me for that. Yeah.
Okay, let me get to
very quickly. Oshay, sorry, because I'm going to be going offline in a minute or two. So actually, to wrap it up, so I would like to say thank you for everyone. It's nice meeting you guys. And Wode Maya, the sign itself, Wakanda, forever, it's an African sign actually. We found it in several Egyptian symbols, and I'm still trying to talk to people to see what it actually means in those times. So we found it like it was a Kemetic symbol, a sign itself, and even Ramesses used it, and a lot of the great pharaohs actually had the symbols on there. So, but what we think it symbolizes is of a power, but I'm not really sure. I still leave that to the Egyptologist, African Egyptologist, to find out what does that mean, what it means in Kemet. But it's actually real. I don't know if it was what inspired the movie writers, but we will see as the researchers dig into it. I would also like to dig a little bit into chematology if I'll have time. So it was nice talking to everyone. Thanks for having me, Oshay, Dinas, I am Movement, and every other Edward, Eddie, and every other person on the cast. So thank you and good night from Poland.
Good night. I'm going to bed
Yeah.
too. Shit, these Negroes can talk.
Yeah.
All right. I want to just thank him personally. Like before we get to Tony Maceo, not to be it, but the Negro Manosphere, when I thought about the idea, it could not have come to life like without need. You know what I mean? So all the brothers that have an opportunity to write, if something goes wrong with the site, he'll stay up. Sometimes, without even asking, he's never asked me for money, and anything. I just would, but I always, just give it, whatever, what we can, because the brothers have supported it. And you guys have actually opened up a door for another black man to, that's an African American fan base, to pay a guy who is Nigerian, who is running a website that's really basically for African American men. So it's just good that we're able to support a brother who actually puts in a lot of work. I mean, he really loves Negro Manosphere. He was saying, look, under any circumstances, man, that site got to stay up. So he built the forum for us. He put the comic up. I didn't have any idea how to put the comic up like I did. He did it. If anything goes wrong with the sites, all the updates, it takes a lot of time to do it. He does this while, he's also an English teacher, and he's also in another, he's working on his second master's right now as he does all of this. So he's just a hell of a man. He's married, he has 2 kids here. And he really puts in a lot of work for what we're doing to make sure that all the ads are there. Alan Roger Curry messages him every month like, hey, you got my ads in the right place. And so he always makes sure that we do everything, man. So he's really, really, really a big part. He's the guy that's putting in the work that you guys don't ever see. And he's the one that really, 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 really holds us together. So I really love him. I got a lot of respect for him. And me and him are really, really good friends. I've been knowing him since I've been living in Poland. And last but not least, our attorney for the Negro Manosphere to be Tony Maceo. What's going on, Tony?
Oh man, I've just been sitting here enjoying the program tonight. All these people on here. It's good to have the opportunity to chop it up with LAR movement and Diamonds.
Yo,
I haven't. I didn't know who you were before today, Warrior, but I assure you, I won't forget you. Just know I will be watching from here on out. More than anything else, I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be here, and network, commune amongst the brethren.
Right.
And I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm on Negro Manosphere every Tuesday. My articles drop every Tuesday on the Negro Manosphere. You can find me at powerandstrategy.com on my website, and I have a YouTube channel by the same name and a Facebook channel by the same name. My site is predominantly social commentary, history, economics, politics, and random nigga shit that crossed my mind. But other than that, I'm a writer, and I'm here to support the Negro Manosphere and to support any black man that's doing anything worthwhile and trying to achieve something. So, you know, that's who I am, and that's what I'm about. And Amanda la bitches.
All right. Again, guys, man, this is a hell of a hangout, man. A lot of smart people. Edward jumped in. We have, you know, Wode. I mean, you know, y'all make me feel like I'm smart sometimes, even though, you know, like I said, I really don't know shit. But I'm really glad, man, that just, you know, all you brothers are very special. Wode Maya, man, again, thank you for coming on, bro. You just really doing a great job with your channel. You know what I'm saying? And I want you to know you got a lot of love over here. You know, we will be supporting your channels from now on. So
much.
Yeah, man, you are our family, especially with Dynas, because you know Dynas, you know, he be over there when he be in Africa, man. Dynas is for real. He be over there like showering outside. Dynas is like he don't be like, no, take me to the village. Like when I go to Africa, I'm not there yet. I need to go to where it's warm water and hot water intake, and I can't go to the village yet. But Dynas be in the trenches. So I just really thank all you guys, man. Hopefully I can't wait to see you and Dynas' interview. And you know, whatever you want to come back, man, you're more than welcome, player.
Yeah. No problem.
Anything else you want to say?
I just want to say thank you, Oshay, for giving me such a big platform. You know, like you're big, you know, a lot of people know you, you know. And I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity. And I want to say, like, to all the brothers that I've never met before, but I think, like, I'm so lucky to talk to, you know, big brothers like you all. Like, I'm so happy, you know, for real, because I never imagined myself, you know, getting this opportunity to talk to, you know, people like you. And I would say that I really appreciate everything. And to each and everyone who watched that video and felt offended, I'm gonna say it again. Like, I'm really sorry about that. If you think like maybe I said something to offend you or something, it just that it was too much. Okay, it was too much, and I just had to voice it out. And I've been seeing, is it Maurice saying he said he wanted a Chinese girl. He'll be coming to China. He needs a Chinese girl. Bro, I'm gonna find you one. Don't worry, I'm gonna get you one very soon. So when he wrote that in Chinese so that nobody will understand. So I got it. So when you're coming, just let me know, and I'll reserve one for you. You know, they're all over. You just have to play the game well, like get what you want. That's how it is. So, and everyone who is watching this video, I want to say thank you for spending time with us, and I really appreciate it. Yeah.
All right, guys, we will be back. You know what I'm saying, it's Easter Sunday here in Poland. Everything is closed down. I remember before I go, I was stuck here one Christmas by myself. And Nee and his wife, they brought me some food. I don't know if Oh, Shaka 38, what up, player? That's from New Possibilities channel, man. Good to see you, man. Let me tell you about Shaka 38, man. He really got in my ass about the facilitation that I had on the ABL debate. He was like, yeah, is he really in medical school with his dumb ass? He is so ignorant. I was like, you know, the brother really let into me, man. I was like, I could have responded emotionally and shit, but I was like, man, let me just hear what the man is saying. So I just took the criticism and just, you know, it was all good, man. I didn't disrespect him or anything because he was making some points and shit like that. So shout out to the brother, man. You know, a lot of times, you know, when somebody's telling you something, it's not always for you to get an attitude or anything. You know, you know, some people have good points to say, even if you don't like how they say it. If it's true, it's true. So shout out to the brother for making a correction. And man, love you guys, man. Thank you for being, you know, excellent YouTubers. Again, LAR, man, you do so much for me, bro. I can't even call it, man. Thank you so much. I'm gonna call you after this and talk some shit about you, like I always do. But guys, I'm going to bed, man. I'm gonna go walk out here and get me a hot dog, and then yeah, because it's cold, man. Hopefully it's still open. Peace out, y'all.
All right. Peace out.